Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our live stream watch along here with Rocket Sports Media. I'm Michael Spinella. I'm the host of the Canadiens Connection podcast, and I'm right here with my Rocket Sports Media colleague Nathan, who helps us with a lot of our promotions online. Make sure you check out the Canadiens Connection podcast wherever you get your podcasts or at canadiensconnection.fm. Also, feel free to check out all of our content at thn.com/Montreal. That's the Hockey News Montreal. We're here on trade deadline eve. The Montreal Canadiens are taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. And Nathan, how are you doing tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. Thanks for asking, Michael. Looking forward to this game against the Carolina Hurricanes on trade deadline eve. It's going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, I've been a busy couple days in the NHL. Lots of trades have gone down, and certainly some roster moves tonight that have implications on some potential trades here as it's going, as it was reported just a few minutes ago by, I believe, Pierre LeBrun was the one I was checking. One Michael Bunting for the Carolina Hurricanes is going to sit out, and there's implications that there's a trade going on with the Pittsburgh Penguins and potentially one Jake Gensel headed to Carolina. So we'll have plenty of drama on this stream tonight. I know last time we had a trade go down right during the game. What do you think about that potential tonight?
Hey, it's I guess from our last stream, anything can happen during a game, including a trade. So I'll be very excited to see a trade go down for a second live stream in a row. That'd be pretty awesome to see.
Absolutely. So just to let everyone know, Rocket Sports does a lot of different content, so make sure you check it all out. If you're a Habs fan, head over to thn.com/Montreal. That's the hockey news for Montreal. And on there, we have game previews. We also have post-game recaps. So make sure you check out the game preview for tonight if you haven't already, just at thn.com/Montreal. Also give us a follow on Twitter at Rocket Sports, on Facebook, Rocket Sports Media Inc., Instagram, Rocket Sports Media, and you can check out my podcast, the Canadiens Connection podcast, at canadiensconnection.fm. And just like to welcome all of our viewers here into this live stream tonight. So feel free to get into our live stream or live chat if you have not already. For those watching on their TVs, make sure you hop on a mobile device, head over to the stream, and you can join the live chat as well. We want to know your goal predictions. So let us know what you think the final score will be. And just to get things started, Nathan, what is your prediction for tonight?
Well, I've done a deep dive into tonight's prediction. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to come out notorious on trade deadline eve. 4-1 victory for Carolina with Sebastian Aho scoring the first goal.
That's an interesting one. For me, I think it's going to be pretty close. I think it's going to be 4-3 for the Carolina Hurricanes as well. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be Jesperi Kotkaniemi goal tonight. The first one, of course. So taking a look at the starting goaltenders, we do have one Sam Montembeault starting for the Montreal Canadiens. And on the other end, coming back from injury, he's not played in a while, but one Frederik Andersen. What are your thoughts on this goaltending matchup?
You know what? It's going to be a very interesting matchup. Sam Montembeault obviously playing a lot of games this year, and then Frederik Andersen hasn't been in a couple, 5 months or so. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting battle, but I'm looking forward to seeing how each goaltender shines tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that these Carolina Hurricanes are, they've had a carousel of goaltenders. Many goaltenders have hit the net for them this season. So hopefully Freddie Andersen can come in and bring some stability. Just a few minutes before the puck drop here, a little bit of news for the two rosters. Of course, for the Montreal Canadiens, Dvorak, Doc, and White are going to be sitting out, all with injuries. Of course, Colin White, the last time we streamed, that was his first game as a Montreal Canadien, claimed off of waivers, played 5 games, 0 points, and he's injured. So unfortunate and tough break for one Colin White. On the other end, though, for the Carolina Hurricanes, Michael Bunting, like we just said, will be sitting out due to trade-related reasons. Also, Spencer Martin is going to be a healthy scratch. Kochetkov will be the backup for them. D'Angelo and Ranta will also not be suiting up for the Carolina Hurricanes. What are your thoughts on some of these decisions?
You know what? It's I think for the Carolina Hurricanes for holding Michael Bunting out of the lineup for a potential trade. I think that is wise. You never know what happens during a game, and I think some of the healthy scratches I think are just trying to be able to make some moves, for Frederik Andersen to come back in the lineup. But I think both teams have made good calls on who they're going to start in net and who's going to start tonight's game.
And a very good question comes into the chat. And that reminds me, just to let everyone know what you're getting tonight. Yeah, you're going to get quite a bit of commentary from myself and Nathan, as well as an intermission show. We have lots of topics to talk about for both teams. We'll give you a little bit of a trade deadline preview. And of course, at the end of the game, it's a post-game show, the final round. We'll invite all of our viewers into the chat. So if you're already on a mobile device or a computer, you can certainly get into the live chat, as some have already. And if you're watching on a YouTube app on your television, make sure you take out your phone and head over to YouTube, pull this up as well, and you'll be able to join the live chat there. So just a little reminder to everyone too, we want to know your score predictions. Nathan and I are predicting some Hurricane victories for tonight, but we want to make sure that we hear from you. The Montreal Canadiens coming off of an overtime win on Tuesday against the Nashville Predators. Jake Allen looking great in net. UC Saros with some tough breaks on the other end for Nashville. What's your thought on that one? I don't think the Habs necessarily had a lead until the overtime victory.
Yeah, the goal that happened in the game to tie it up, David Savard's goal, I kind of almost fell out of my chair when I saw it happen. Couldn't believe that it actually was able to find its way in. But I'm gonna say Nashville did have the better of the game, I would say, and until that goal, and then it was just kind of back and forth. But it's good to see Montreal continue to battle and be able to pull out the victory on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So some score predictions coming in. Amy chimes in. I'm feeling this could be a 5-2 Carolina victory. So lots of love for the Hurricanes. BR chimes in as well and says 4-2 Carolina. So far it's all about Carolina. And of course, Canadiens Connection podcast saying Carolina 4, Montreal 2. Canadiens will give up their league-leading 12th shorthanded goal while on the power play. So, of course, that's been not a very good thing for the Canadiens this season, is their power play. Special teams in general, currently leading the league in shorthanded goals against, which is not a stat that you necessarily want to have. So, yeah, not a ton of optimism for these Montreal Canadiens. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I see that Carolina. Agree with you there, Michael. Is Carolina's getting all the love here today, and it's based on the gameplay recently from Montreal, they've played some pretty good hockey, but when you look at their overall standing where they are in the league, it's and they're playing a good Carolina Hurricanes team. It's I can understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a roll call going on in the live chat here. Amy chimes in. Roll call. Pennsylvania watching here. So, of course, Amy, I believe, also a Flyers fan and one of our Rocket Sports Media colleagues. So make sure you let us know where you're from, as well as we do have Habs fans and fans of hockey in general from all around the world. So we'd love to hear from all of you in that live chat. So if you're not already, get on a mobile device and join the live chat here while you watch along with us. A few more minutes until that puck drop goes down. The Hurricanes haven't played in a while. Their last loss was a 5-3 loss against the Jets. That was the last game they played. And yeah, not a great showing for them, but I think they were a little bit better than what they showed in that game. What did you think about them in that loss to the Winnipeg Jets?
Yeah, when you look at that game, when you look at where they are in the standings, it's hard to see them lose 5-3 to the Winnipeg Jets. But both teams are playing very good for their respective clubs. So I mean, it's good to see that. Both clubs fought hard, and Winnipeg came on top. But I feel that Carolina, should be able to, with all the rest they have, be well rested for tonight's game.
Yeah. Looking at the chat here, BR Gaming says, has the game started yet? I'm from Kansas, so hello, all the way from Kansas. And not yet. The puck should drop in just a couple minutes here, and we'll keep you up to date as we go along. Canadiens Connection representing QC along with Michael. So both of us watching from Quebec. I'm right here in Montreal. And Nathan, where are you from?
I'm in southern Ontario, 15 minutes outside of Niagara Falls, called Fort Erie, Ontario. It's a small city with 30,000 people, but quite a few Habs fans here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe quite a few Leaf fans where you're from as well. So how have you been navigating that?
I just gotta watch what you say when Leafs fans are around. Unless I know them, then I can kind of say what I want to say.
Absolutely love it. So, just in the process of the puck dropping here, it looks like they're getting set up, and Montreal starting with that top line with Nick Suzuki, and Carolina wins that opening face-off. Puck's going to go all the way back to their zone as they regroup, and Montreal being very aggressive on that forecheck early on here. And as this game starts up, I think it's a good time to get to tonight's mission for both teams. So, for the Montreal Canadiens, what are you looking for from them?
Well, for the Habs tonight, they've been playing some pretty good hockey. Taking their last 3 games to either overtime or a shootout. So what I would like to continue to see for the Habs is, I want to continue to see that fight, that determination, that hunger for the W. And if they can continue doing this and can continue to fight, this should be a good game for the Habs.
Yeah. And an early chance there by Toivu Teravainen, as pointed out by Canadiens Connection. So the Carolina Hurricanes off to a very quick start here as both teams battling in that neutral zone. And just quickly here, what are you looking for from the Carolina Hurricanes?
Well, I mean, over the last 10 games, there's 6-3-1 for the Carolina Hurricanes. They've been playing pretty good hockey, other than that loss to the Winnipeg Jets. But in order for them to win tonight, I want to see their top 2 lines continue to put pressure in the defensive zone on young defensemen in Montreal and continue to try to put that puck in the net.
Absolutely. So another shot attempt there from the Carolina Hurricanes. David Savard does block that one as it deflects up and over the glass. We get a quick whistle here, and both teams are going to take a change. For me, the mission for the Montreal Canadiens is they don't have to be good, but they just have to stick around long enough to capitalize on the other team's mistakes. And I think that's the story of that Nashville game, and that's been the story of most Montreal Canadiens wins. It's not that they've been particularly good. They just seem to find a way to pounce on all the other team's mistakes. And if I'm the Carolina Hurricanes, I think you want some good defense in front of Freddie Anderson, who has not made a start since November, and you want to make sure that he gets a ton of support. So that will be our tonight's mission. Puck's dropped back in the offensive zone for the Carolina Hurricanes. Unfortunately, that puck dribbles out of the zone. They're going to have to go back and regroup here. BR Gaming chimes into the chat. Come on, Hurricanes. Shoot the puck, Aho. So looking for some more Carolina Hurricanes shots. And so far, at least on our scoreboard here, neither of those shot attempts have registered as shots for the Carolina Hurricanes. So still 0-0 in that shot department.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess both teams got to be able to shoot that puck on the net and make sure it hits that 4x6.
Yeah, absolutely. Carolina Hurricanes back in the offensive zone, and a whistle blown as that puck does dribble towards Montembeault. All the Hurricanes looking up to the sky in disappointment that that one got blown down. But the Hurricanes, nice and quick start for them. This is exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, Michael. This is exactly the start the Carolina Hurricanes want to play in front of a goaltender that hasn't seen action in quite some time. So,
yeah, absolutely. And just looking at that shot board, Montreal leading the shot department 1-0, which I don't think tells the story of the game so far.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one on Michael.
So back in action here, the Montreal Canadiens do manage to come away with the puck as they head into the offensive zone with some speed. And a long shot from Pearson dribbles towards Freddie Anderson, and he makes that stop nice and easy in the glove. He looks like he's comfortable, and that's exactly the type of shot that you want coming back from an injury.
Yeah, no, exactly. Especially for the time missed, the extensive time missed. That's something you want to you want to be able to make those easy saves.
Looking at the chat here, Canadiens Connection chimes in with who will score tonight, number 20 from Carolina or Montreal, which is Great point there, and certainly would love to hear from all of our listeners. I don't think the 20 for Montreal is going to score tonight. I feel like he's on a bit of a slump.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Michael. I think number 20 from the Carolina Hurricanes is definitely going to get on the board tonight. But
Yeah.
Slavkovsky, well, he's had his ups and downs right now.
For sure. Carolina with the shot there. That one goes wide. They hang on in the offensive zone. They're trying to cycle things around. Montreal might get there first, and they do, but Carolina prevails with the puck. Now behind the net, looking for their options, it's Natchez, and great chance by Carolina, bouncing puck in front, still behind the net. Montreal finally comes away with it and settles it down. Amy chimes into the chat and says, I'd say Aho. And Amy with a great question here. Which team does everyone think is going to score first? I think Montreal will strike first, and we'd like to hear from you in that chat as well. So like I said before, if you're on a mobile device or computer, you got that live chat right there. You can chime in. If you're watching on TV, make sure you log in using a mobile device, and you'll be able to join the live chat from there. So we'd appreciate hearing from each and every one of you as we go along. But great opportunity there with the bouncing puck, and it actually looks like that one hit the crossbar. I don't think Montembeault even saw where it was.
Yeah, that was a nifty, creative play. You don't really see those flip passes from behind the net, but you know what? Carolina thinks it's going to work. You might as well continue to try it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Carolina looking like the better team so far as they have offensive zone time. A long shot doesn't quite get through. That gets blocked. Behind the net once again is the Carolina Hurricanes. They bring it back to the point, looking for a pass. Almost a great setup in front, but that one gets blocked by the Montreal defender's stick. Puck gets cycled back around again. Carolina still with the puck. Montreal trying to be aggressive here, get that puck back. They do, but not for long as Carolina comes away with it. And finally, Montreal does manage to clear it down. So some scary moments there as the Carolina Hurricanes continue to look dangerous in the early parts of this period.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good stick by Caden Gooley there to block up that pass that Carolina was setting up for that 1T from in front of the net. So that was a good defensive play by Gooley for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So puck behind that Carolina net. They're trying to break things out. They managed to get it through to center, but they're going to turn off on a change here. And just quickly here, are you ready to go to tonight's player to watch and player to watch out for? Who do you have your eyes on both teams?
For the Montreal Canadiens, I have our captain, Nick Suzuki. In his last 5 games, he has a total of 8 points, five goals, 3 assists. Ever since the All-Star break, he's really turned it up on his gameplay. And for the month of February, he was second in the NHL for the amount of goals scored in that month. So looked for Nick Suzuki to get on the board tonight and try to carry those Habs to a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amy answering the question of who do you think is going to score first? Kotkaniemi for sure. And that's also my prediction. I think he's going to get the first goal as well. Who do you have your eyes on for the Carolina Hurricanes?
Well, I have Andrei Svechnikov. In 40 games, he's got 37 points. But an intriguing stat is he really likes playing the Montreal Canadiens because in the 12 games against the Canadiens, he actually has 9 goals and 4 assists against Montreal. So I'm keen to seeing him getting on the score sheet as well tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So Montreal breaking the puck out, trying to get into the zone here. That one gets cycled around behind the net. They try to pass it. That one gets broken up by the Hurricanes. And they come back the other way, but giveaway right at the blue line. Montreal shot goes right in. Goal by the Montreal Canadiens, the first goal of the game. Joshua Waugh, the rookie, gets that one too.
What a shot. He's that looks like similar to the same shot he took at the last game. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm surprised that one went in, to be honest. I wonder if Freddie maybe didn't see it, but it looks like he should have had a clear view of that one. Freddie Anderson might want that back. Yeah, maybe it took a weird bounce too, but yeah, from wide open, Joshua Waugh gets the first goal.
Yeah, I can't tell if it actually deflects off Frederik Andersen, actually, but needless to say, yeah, Joshua does get the goal.
So Canadiens Connection clarifies, great shot by Waugh, bad goal. So I think a few things can be right here. Great opportunity, and like I always say, Montreal seems to capitalize on the other team's mistakes consistently. So 1-0 Montreal, and they're off to maybe an undeserved lead so far, as I think that Carolina has actually been the better of the two. And another great opportunity coming off the side of the boards. Freddie Anderson stops it, wide open net, but Carolina comes away with it. So back the other way, Svechnikov, you were just talking about, takes a shot that misses, and we get a whistle.
Whew. Little
So a
end-to-end
lot of
action,
things
eh?
happening. Yeah, a lot going on there. Well, it looks like we're going to get our first break there on the TV broadcast. Montreal up 1-0. So, man, I think that Carolina has come out with a lot of speed. They had a lot of opportunities. A lot of those opportunities have not registered as shots on goal.
Yeah, it's definitely something Carolina Hurricanes want to change up here in the early stages of this game, because you need the shots to hit the net for at least them to be a chance, an opportunity for it to go in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the chat here quickly, welcoming Shadow Kitty, appreciating these watch-alongs. Game is blocked here, so sorry to hear it's blocked there, but we appreciate you joining us and watching along today, just as Amy's saying right here as well. And on that note, I actually didn't get a chance to get to my players to watch out for tonight. So for the Montreal Canadiens, I have my eyes on one David Savard. I see that he's on the Athletics trade board, as Chris Johnson has put him there, I believe, at number 21. Trade deadline tomorrow. I don't know for sure, but there is a possibility that tonight is David Savard's last game as a Hab before being traded. But of course, we don't have any intel on that at the moment. On the other end for the Carolina Hurricanes, I think the player to watch out for has to be one Freddie Anderson. His first start since November the 2nd in 2023, returning from a blood clotting issue. So happy to see he's back. Congratulations to him. I hope he's completely recovered from that. And I hope the rest of his game goes a lot better than it has so far, at the very least.
Yeah, those are good picks. Good players to watch for sure, and it'll be interesting to see how both those players play tonight.
Of course. And of course, someone who's, I believe, has tuned in a few times, Ashfact chimes in with Let's Go. So welcome. Appreciate having you back here, joining us for this live stream watch along. 1-0 Montreal so far off of a Joshua Waugh goal. And certainly one that Freddie Anderson probably would like back. But you know what? He's been out with injury. I'll let him have one bad goal against.
Yeah, you can have you can only have one mulligan, right?
Yeah, exactly. So far in the chat, it seems like there's a lot more love for the Carolina Hurricanes winning tonight, and a bit of surprise that Montreal scored that first goal. The Carolina Hurricanes, I think, coming out with a speedy start, lots of chances, a few off the crossbar, a few misses, and they're right back at it in the offensive zone here with an offensive zone win and a shot that gets blocked, and Montreal heading back the other way. So just chimes in with a Carolina sucks, and also let's go Montreal, and of course Montreal Fire. So thank you for joining us. And that last one's from Ashfax. So lots of Habs fans here tonight. Is Montreal with a good opportunity there. Carolina putting on a display defensively. Some sweet moves with their sticks there to keep that one from going towards Freddie Anderson. I can't even begin to describe what I just saw there.
Yeah, great defensive play by Carolina there, lifting Josh Anderson's stick from allowing him from getting a shot attempt or even passing that over. So I mean, it's good to see Carolina is playing a little bit harder defense right now.
Yeah, absolutely. As Carolina does get set up in the offensive zone here, waiting for the line change to be complete. Shot misses, and they'll cycle it around again. That one takes a funny bounce. Shot from the point doesn't get through. Now Carolina paddling behind the Montreal net to get the puck. Montreal does come away with it, and they'll head back out. Carolina having a lot of trouble not hitting the net here on a lot of those attempts, and a lot of shot blocks too there from Montreal.
Yeah, it's that puck was getting blocked left, right, and center all over the place, and it was from at least for me, if I was a goaltender, it was pretty hard to keep an eye on that puck.
And Carolina bursting in and runs down Montembeault in the process. Not sure what's going on there. That was a bit of an odd man break. I believe that was Teravainen who can't get a shot off and runs directly into Montembeault. So Amy chimes in, penalty much? And yeah, I don't know what to, I'll have to see the replay on this. What do you think happened?
Well, from my eyes, it just looks like the player just went straight into the goalie. Like there was maybe he lost an edge or he hit a chunk in the like a hole in the ice. But I mean, the ice is still pretty fresh, so I mean, pretty abnormal play to be honest.
Yeah. So Montreal gets 2 minutes for hooking, and it's going to be Natchez going. So Amy says, ouch, it's 4-on-4 instead. So yeah, watching this replay, I think a bit of a trip, and of course,
Oh,
no attempt to not hit Montembeault on that one. I think accidentally on purpose there by Natchez, but I hope everyone's okay. He gives a little high five to Montembeault, so perhaps this was, not a direct skate into Montembeault, which we initially thought.
yeah.
So 4-on-4 here, so lots of open ice. Who do you think has the upper hand in that category?
You know what? I'm gonna have to say, just from what I've been seeing this game, I'm gonna say the Carolina Hurricanes. They're skating faster. They're getting in the offensive zone a lot more than the Montreal Canadiens. So let's see let's see what both clubs can do on this 4-on-4.
Yeah, absolutely. So that says Carolina face-off win in the offensive zone. They're taking their time cycling around. Almost had an odd man break, but Montreal stops that one up. But there's that Carolina speed once again. That shot, I believe, got blocked. Now Montreal heading back the other way. It's Matheson who does a spinorama, can't get the shot off. What in the world is Matheson doing up there? Now at the point, Montreal controlling the puck. Caulfield's out there now looking for an open opportunity or a pass. And now it's Gooley. Shot misses. That one goes to the corner, but Montreal hangs on to it. Now Montreal playing with a lot of speed.
Yeah,
Now,
they're moving pretty quick right now with that puck. Like everyone's finding open areas and making sure that puck's getting there.
and it looks like another penalty as Montreal makes a charge towards the net, a strong play, and we'll wait and see. It's going to be 2 minutes for hooking.
Oh.
So that's going to be Brett Pesce go into the box, and now Montreal with a 4-on-3 power play. And as Amy says, here comes that dynamic Montreal power play. And Canadiens Connection says Montreal 4-on-3 power play for 1:10. So big opportunity here for Montreal, and I feel like it's more likely that the Hurricanes are going to score on this one, as Canadiens Connection pointed out. Montreal leading the way, shorthanded goals against.
Yeah, no, it's we'll see how this power play goes, but not too hopeful on it.
Yeah. So it's Matheson controlling at the point there. Montreal passing around. In the chat, Jessica chimes in with, let's go make it 2-0. So a little bit of optimism for Montreal. Montreal looking for their options here. Lots of open ice, but Carolina doing a good job clogging up the middle. Right from the point, it's a shot that doesn't get through. Montreal hangs on. I believe that's Suzuki at the point here. Circling back. And Slavkovsky's broken his stick. He's going back to the bench. Now Montreal still has control. Slavkovsky's back out there looking for a shot. Doesn't shoot. Passes it back. Matheson. Great save by Freddie Anderson at the side of the net.
What?
That is incredible. Now Matheson trying to do the same play. Doesn't quite work. Now Montreal at the side of the net. Passes off to Caulfield, looking for their options. I don't know. You got to do something here, Montreal. They take a shot, that gets blocked. So too much patience. They had tons of opportunity to try and drive the net, and they elected a shot from the point.
Yeah. No, that's they definitely got to do something a little bit different on the power play here.
Yeah.
Utilize the opportunities.
Amy chimes in with an OMG, how did that not go in? And I agree. I think either a post or a great save there by Freddie Anderson. So still the power play, about 30 seconds left for Montreal. Again, shot goes into the corner, trying to maintain possession. Jackeye with a shot that can't get through. Canadiens Connection chimes in. Anderson with no stick for most of the Montreal power play. And yeah, you still see him out there, just the blocker with nothing in that hand. Montreal now at the point, controlling the puck. And no shots. Montreal can't get any shots on net.
Oh,
and
man.
that comes to an end. Wasted opportunity for Montreal, having a Freddie Anderson with no stick in his blocker hand. Amy chimes in. Anderson hadn't had a stick for most of the power play, and the Habs still can't get one through. A lot of block shots and no goal. So disappointing performance for Montreal in that power play.
Yeah, stick taps to Carolina Hurricanes for, I'm assuming they knew their goaltender didn't have a stick, but just wanted to get in front of every shot and pass, and making sure none of those pucks went towards the net, which is good for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Absolutely. Approaching that 8-minute mark, a little bit over halfway through this period. The Carolina Hurricanes looking to break the puck out, but a little bit surprised too that one of those Carolina defenders didn't give Freddie Anderson a stick. I know some goaltenders will appreciate that, but I guess Freddie Anderson, not one of those guys.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one, Michael. I think some goaltenders, like you said, just don't really like the player's stick to be using that as a goalie stick. So I probably just felt more comfortable without, but they're showing that replay on that close attempt. So I was clearly off the post.
Yeah, off the post there. I can't beat Anderson without the stick. He didn't even have a stick at that point. So, yeah, pretty disappointing there from the Montreal power play. And Amy says that kind of PK might give the Canes some jump. And the Canes have had quite a bit of jump so far. And great kill by them, too. I think they handled that quite well.
Yeah.
Now shots 7-4 for the Montreal Canadiens. Of course, Carolina Hurricanes with a few attempts that came off the post and the crossbar that didn't register as shots on goal. So I think a little bit misleading in that department. Carolina in the offensive zone once again, and Caulfield does clear it out to center, but not for long as Carolina storms back. They're going to have to be careful here as they break in. Backhand by Brady Shea. Great stop there by Montembeault. That one goes wide, and Carolina continuing to control. Svechnikov with a pass to the point. I believe that's Shea. Almost a great pass in front, but that deflects off the backhand. Now fighting in the corner, trying to cycle this one around. Shea sends that one behind the net. Now here comes the Hurricanes once again along the boards. Great move, shot, backhand goal. What a goal. Brady Shea, the defenseman, didn't think he had that in him, and it's tied up. What a move, and Montembeault, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't think he I think he underestimated that little move that he pulled in that little backhand shot on net.
Absolutely. So looking at this here, Brady Shea just walks in completely uncontested as well. Slavkovsky is the one caught behind him. So Slavkovsky, potentially that was his man right there, and he could not get up there.
Yeah, that's...
And Amy chimes in with Matheson did a great job of clearing the pass through the paint for that puck to get through. And yeah, I think that Slavkovsky-Matheson 1-2 combo has been haunting the Montreal Canadiens in the last couple of games. I saw a few times those two made some mistakes that led to goals for the other team. So now Montreal is going to have to try and battle back 1-1 in this first period. So Montreal in the offensive zone here, trying to cycle things around. That one gets flipped out to center, though, and they'll have to go back and regroup. They'll have to be careful, though, as Carolina doing a good job on that forecheck, causing a little bit of havoc for them, but both teams look to be making changes. Just going to take a quick look at the chat. And we get a Canes suck from Justa. And of course, Amy chimes in with please, Kent, trade Matheson or Savard or someone. So, Montreal fans, I think we feel a little bit left out with all these trades happening before the deadline. And I agree. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the intermission. We have some other content to share with you. Great shot in front by Jarvis that can't get through. Now the Hurricanes once again in the offensive zone. Now it's Orlov cycling around. Now back to the point. There's a delayed penalty as the Canes will be going to the power play here. They'll have their first opportunity. Now the Canes doing a good job finding open space in the offensive zone here. They're being very patient as I think they're going to try and tire out this group. And that's a big shot that gets blocked. So the set play can't go through. But as a reclamation prize, the Hurricanes are going to get a power play after the TV break here. So 1-1, Joshua Waugh with with the first goal of the game, his third of the season, assisted by Alex Newhook. And I guess almost 8 minutes later, it's Brady Shea with his 9th of the season coming from Svechnikov and Martin Necas. So 1-1. What are you thinking so far in this game?
Well, I think, for it to be tied, I'm glad to see it is tied because, I mean, Carolina did come out, skating hard, passing, had a couple great opportunities, but, unfortunately hit the post and didn't get the bounces they want. But also, Montreal's had their opportunities as well, and it's good to see, them being able to get on the board. So it's making it to be an interesting game for the rest of this first period. What do you think about the first period so far?
I think that Montreal's lucky it's 1-1, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was not after this upcoming power play. Looking at the chat here, Canadiens Connection says Montembeault lost his positioning with the net behind him. I think, yeah, that's probably true. I think on a few occasions here, Montembeault's looked a little bit lost in his net, and he's gotten a little bit lucky with some crossbar and some posts and some blocked shots too. Canadiens Connection also says Canadiens' top line was buried in Nashville. Not a good start for them in this game. And I agree. Going back to that Nashville game, there were just a few occasions where it just seems like Matheson goes out of position. Slavkovsky looks very confused in his own zone and often is caught chasing behind another player. Yeah, this is certainly something that you'll want to address in that dressing room. And I'm sure it's been talked about so far. But yeah, Matheson and Slavkovsky, I would not have both of those guys on the ice in the defensive zone at the same time.
Yeah, I agree with you on those points, Michael. And, just, a lot of the bad penalties being taken by Montreal Canadiens over the last few games have hurt them as well and hasn't really put them in a position to win. But in Nashville, they kind of got a couple lucky bounces and was able to pull off the victory. But still lots of game left for this game to see how the rest of this plays out.
Absolutely. So that Carolina power play coming to a start. Anderson to the box for Montreal. It's going to be called slashing. So the Hurricanes do break into the zone here, coming down the boards with some speed, backhand in front. That one bounces around, can't connect it with anyone. Montreal very lucky to clear that, as that could have been very dangerous for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, it looks like Kotkaniemi blew a tire there when he went to get that puck. So
Habs fans might not mind that one. Crazy to see Brent Burns out there on the power play for the Carolina Hurricanes. As they're in the offensive zone now, and it looks like Burns is going to be quarterbacking the point. Shot gets blocked, and that goes up and over the boards. Looking at the chat here briefly, Amy says, I feel like Carolina might get one more before intermission. I feel you. I have that exact same feeling, unfortunately. And I think that Carolina Hurricanes power play is one good bounce away from ending up behind Sam Montembeault.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, too. It's going to be a Carolina goal, I'm feeling, too.
And I'll let you read this comment coming from Canadiens Connection.
Canadiens Connection says, was David Savard checking stanchions during warm-ups?
So, of course, in reference to his goal against the Nashville Predators, puck bounced off the boards as he was trying to dump and chase, and it somehow ended up in the net from the most bizarre angle as UC Saros was standing behind his net.
Yeah, that angle was, I don't think I've seen a puck roll on its edge on that kind of an angle ever before. So,
Yeah, I don't think even Ovechkin could do it. This Carolina power play continues to look dangerous. Missed pass there, but Carolina still manages to hang on to it. Now behind the net, Montreal being very aggressive, trying to keep that puck away, and finally Carolina manages to get it out from underneath everyone's skates in the corner, passing it back to the blue line here. It's Natchez looking for options. Couple passes around, but back to Natchez. Now at the side of the net, Montembeault down on his knees, and that one goes across the crease, but unfortunately no options there as this power play comes to an end. But a little bit disappointing from Carolina here.
yeah, I feel like they're holding the puck a little bit too much before they make that final play.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, some pushing happening in front of Montembeault here. So some tempers flaring. But you mentioned that it seems that Carolina's hanging on to that puck a little bit too long. Do you think that that's the main reason why they could not get more chances on that power play?
Yeah, I mean, especially some of those chances where they're like in and around the net, like they could have maybe done like a low shot off the pad, and maybe it can deflect to that other winger on the other side instead of passing it across. Kind of give Montembeault and the Canadiens something different to look at. But yeah, I think they can do a little bit more pucks on net versus passing.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're in a TV break here, I'll just like to remind those that are tuning in for the first time with us or those that have joined us before, we do have an intermission show coming up after the first period. And after the second period, we'll take about a 3-minute break and we'll be right back here. We have lots of talk as we lead up to the trade deadline. So you'll want to stick around with us. And I'll once again invite everyone into the chat. If you're watching on a mobile device, you should have the chat right there. If you're watching on TV, grab your phone, hop onto YouTube, and come join us there. You'll be able to send in your comments and questions via the live chat from your phone too. So we appreciate hearing from each and every one of you. And how are you feeling about your score predictions so far? I know you were predicting a Carolina victory.
Yeah, I mean Montreal's got their first the goal a goal, and so does Carolina. So I mean, from the eye test from this game so far, I think my prediction is on the right track. Because Carolina Hurricanes, they're putting the pressure on Montreal right now, and clearly have been had more opportunities than Montreal as well.
Absolutely. Looking at the chat here, just as we come back from intermission, Canadiens Connection says Lane Hutson picked up an assist on Macklin Celebrini's goal tonight. That's Hudson's 40th point of the season in 31 games. So very excited about Lane Hutson. This is a great defensive prospect. An absolute steal in the second round, in my opinion, and potentially setting up a future teammate on a goal tonight. We'll certainly be talking about the draft lottery and the draft as soon as the trade deadline's over. So appreciate that being pointed out from Canadiens Connection. And Amy chimes in once again with can't wait to see how Hudson translates to the NHL, hoping that his adjustment period is very quick. So Montreal Canadiens hit the crossbar there on a play, and that one very lucky to stay out. Now the Carolina Hurricanes behind the net. Montreal trying to keep that one in, but it does get brought out past the blue line by the Hurricanes. Now it gets flipped back into their zone. About a minute 30 left. Montreal now leading the shot department 7-6 as that puck gets played by Montembeault, and Montreal's going to head the other way. 2 minutes left. Do you think we'll see one more goal before we head into intermission?
You know what? Part of me says yes, but I think my final prediction is going to be a no. I think it's gonna end up tied going into the second period. But again, the second period for the Montreal Canadiens, those aren't too nice to the Canadiens for sure.
Yeah, quite deadly. So now the Hurricanes in their own zone looking to break out. They seem to have quite a bit of speed in this first period as they come past that red line and dump it in. That one does not get called as an icing, and Montreal's going to have to try and break it the other way now. Gallagher trying to get past the Carolina defenseman. He can't, and Carolina comes the other way. Now past the blue line, looking for a pass here. That one hits Montembeault, kind of surprised him a bit, but good reactionary save there by Montembeault. About a minute 20 left. Carolina now at the point. Slap shot. That one gets blocked, and Montreal heading the other way. Great block there by the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, it was a huge block and a nice little passing play that Teravainen and Natchez was doing there. That was a good play by Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 1 minute left. Montreal's going to try to break this one out. They get stopped up, and Freddie Anderson's going to come out to play it. Carolina being very patient and breaking things out, but they do find a long pass, get it past the blue line, and now they're behind the net searching for the puck. Montreal now trying to battle away with it, but they can't hang on to it. Wide open puck there in center ice. Now it's an opportunity for a shot. That one looks like it might have hit the post.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm gonna have to take a look at the replay on that one, but
yeah,
if it's a post, there's got to be a record of how many posts were hit in this first period.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like there's a penalty on the way. Carolina might get a few seconds of power play before this one dies down. And I believe that's when Alex Newhook heading to the box.
Oh no.
So kind of an odd play here. It looks like Newhook was not the one that went. Yeah, it was Newhook that went down, I think.
Yeah,
but
it looks like a holding while he was going down. He held him with the same stick or same hand he was holding his stick.
Yeah, but that's weird. Either way, Carolina to the power play. They'll have about 30 seconds before this one dies down and heads into intermission. Their last power play didn't look great, but looking for a little bit better. Wide open in front. No defenseman around whatsoever.
Great save by Montembeault.
Yeah, you needed that one. What is going on with that defensive coverage?
Yeah, it's especially from that one side. Is it? I would like to take a look at that first goal and see who's playing the defense on that same side, because that side seems to be open a little bit. This period.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Matheson the first time, and this time it looked like it was Savard.
Yeah, our veterans.
Yeah, so now you'll get Aho taking the face-off against Jake Evans. Less than 20 to go. Montreal does come away with possession, and they send it out. So it looks like Carolina might have one or two more opportunities here before the end of the period. 10 seconds to go. They come in with a burst of speed. Can't get through the Montreal Canadiens skates. That one gets sent the whole other way of the ice, and that's it. Freddie Anderson comes out to play it, and that is the end of the first period. So in just a few seconds here, we'll take a little break, but that's 1-1. It's tied between the Carolina Hurricanes and Montreal Canadiens. Joshua Waugh with his third of the season, and then Brady Shea with his 9th of the season. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back here in about 3 minutes. So welcome back to the live stream watch along here with Rocket Sports Media. I'm Michael, and I'm right here with my Rocket Sports Media colleague Nathan, as the Montreal Canadiens are taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. And as per Rick Stevens, Rocket Sports at Rocket Sports on Twitter, 8 shots on goal, 8-8 in the first period. Habs and Hurricanes tied 1-1. The only CH goal coming from one Joshua Waugh, his third of the season. So make sure that you give Rick Stevens a follow on Twitter at Rocket Sports, as we do live tweeting for every single Montreal Canadiens game. And just quickly here, Nathan, what is your thoughts on what happened in that first period? Perhaps a bit unexpected.
Yeah, no, I mean, for starters, I kind of expected Carolina to come out a little bit of a stronger team because they've had such a big gap between games. But the speed that Carolina has, I didn't realize how fast of a team they were when you look at the Montreal Canadiens. But I'm for this first period, I feel that for Montreal to have one goal and it being tied, it's a little bit of a luck for them to be in that position. But I think Carolina is doing a strong game so far against the Habs.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to look at the chat here quickly as Amy Johnson chimes in. 3 minutes to get snacks. What's everyone got for game grub? And yeah, nothing for me, just water at the moment, but feel free to send that into the chat. If you're on a mobile device, you should be able to use that just right from the YouTube app. If you're watching on TV, make sure that you grab your phone, grab your laptop, head over and join us on YouTube there as well, and you'll be able to access the live chat so you can interact with us. And Rocket Sports chimes in, now is a great time to vote in the viewer poll at the top of the chat. So make sure you answer that poll in the top of the chat as well. We'd love to interact with all of you and hear your thoughts. So Nathan, it's been kind of a busy day trade-wise. I think that's fair to say the last 2 days have been pretty crazy. And we're going to help everyone navigate this trade deadline as that comes in tomorrow. Montreal been relatively quiet, but a minor trade. We'll get to that just briefly here. But if you want to know what to expect from the trade deadline, well, Rick Stevens and I on Canadiens Connection episode 285 discussed Kent Hughes' trade deadline history and what we can all expect from the Montreal Canadiens. So head over to CanadiensConnection.fm to make sure you check that one out. We talk about the past 2 trade deadlines for Kent Hughes last season, I think, was a little bit disappointing, as the only move he really made was Dadonov for Gurianov, and Gurianov is no longer a Montreal Canadien after that season. The season before, though, Kent Hughes was going wild, making all sorts of trades. So, Nathan, do you think that this is going to pick up a little bit for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, the fan in me would love to see it pick up for the Montreal Canadiens, but I think from an analytical side, I don't think Montreal is going to be as potent at the trade deadline as as Kent Hughes' first season with Montreal.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, lots of content on this channel as well. If you haven't checked it out already, we'd appreciate if you hit subscribe and hit like if you like what you saw today. But our Rocket Sports colleague, who you've seen in the chat, Amy, hosts a couple different shows. And she hosts one of them called the Habs Hockey Report. And actually this week, Amy did an interview with one Jason Bukala from Sportsnet and did a wonderful job on that interview. She did lots of discussions about Jake Allen's potential of being moved, the potential of moving Savard, along with some other pieces. And we actually have a little preview that we wanted to share with everyone. So in just a second here, you'll be able to watch that preview. And here we go.
Is there a realistic market for Jake Allen right now?
For me personally, if I'm shopping at Jake Allen waters, it's probably because I've done my due diligence elsewhere and the cost has been not accommodating for what I was looking for. I like Jake in a certain situation, lots of structure in front. He's a veteran guy. Obviously, he's going to be low maintenance. He's going to be prepared. So, when you trade a veteran goaltender like that, if that happens, let's not forget, these are human beings, right? Families, wives, kids, all kinds of different things going on. So when you get a person that's already a veteran mindset in the league like him, that move gives me pause and I'm okay with that, right?
So great preview there, put together by Amy Johnson. Great interview as well, and we would absolutely forgive you if you wanted to take a second, take a look at what other content we have on that channel. Specifically, that interview, I cannot recommend it enough. If you want a little bit of primer heading into the trade deadline tomorrow, it's Habs Hockey Report, and the latest episode should be right there. And make sure that you take the time to check that out. But looking at what Montreal has done today, they've made one minor move, probably affects the Laval Rocket more than the Montreal Canadiens, but they swap out a prospect with the Anaheim Ducks. They acquire Jacob Perreault in exchange for Jan Mysak. Jan Mysak, no longer a Montreal Canadien, and Jacob Perreault coming to Montreal. That's the son of former Hab Yannick Perreault, which is kind of interesting. So there's a bit of a connection there. What do you think? Just some initial thoughts on that trade.
For me, I mean, I really liked John Mysak when we first drafted him a couple seasons back. I've really thought he was going to be able to grow into a fairly good prospect for us in the long run. But I think for this trade for both teams, I think it was just time to give both players kind of a change of scenery and see if that helps spark their career and putting it in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Certainly, Jan Mysak, not someone that was getting a ton of opportunities in Laval, and of course, Jacob Perreault for the Anaheim Ducks. He wasn't living up to expectations. He's actually a former first-round pick. He was taken, I believe it was 28th overall by the Anaheim Ducks in 2020. Mysak, on the other hand, taken 48th overall in the exact same draft. So happy that Mysak gets a new opportunity there. I think that that's much needed. Just briefly looking at their stats in the American leagues, Jacob Perreault, 31 games and 18 points, and Mysak in 48 games putting up 20 points. So just swapping out some prospects. I don't mind the move, and I'm just happy for both of these guys to have a fresh start. Looking at the chat here briefly as Amy Johnson chimes in saying, I'm actually happy for Mysak, hoping he gets some better opportunities out west. He's been stifled a bit in Laval, but has had one of the stronger seasons this year so far. And yeah, I think that's true too. So I like the development of Mysak so far. He's slowly come into his own, but perhaps a coach that didn't really know what to do with him. I think it was just before the preseason, Laval Rocket coach Jeff Wool said something about wanting Mysak to be more of a third-line checking center, and that's just not what Mysak is there for, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Michael.
So, Nathan, I guess it's been a busy couple days for trades. Has there been anything that stood out to you? I know a couple big names have been on the move.
I think there's been, like you said, the last couple days there have been some big trades. I think one of the more interesting ones would have to be, Toronto picking up Joel Edmondson, a former Montreal Canadien. It's interesting to see Toronto going to pick up Joel Edmondson, and I get why they're doing it, but it's very interesting to see how they're going to be able to continue to grow their roster leading up to the trade deadline.
Yeah, just going to look at the chat here quickly as Amy chimes in about Mysak again. And in terms of what I said about JF Wool, maybe not knowing what to do with Mysak. And then Mysak scored 2 goals in the rookie tournament in response. And I do remember that. So thank you for reminding me of that, Amy. Back to Joel Edmondson, as I was holding up RIP. I got his nameplate from the Montreal Canadiens signed, and now he's a Toronto Maple Leaf. And in fact, he's still on Montreal payroll. I think he's actually being paid more by Montreal than he is by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Montreal retained salary when they traded him to Washington, and then Washington retained 50% of Edmondson's salary, trading him to Toronto.
Wow, it's a lot of money that a lot of teams paying out Edmonton's contract. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have to talk about the big one here quickly is Noah Hannafin, now a Vegas Golden Knight, and he gets traded along with a prospect, a first-round pick, and a conditional third-round pick, 50% retained. And Philadelphia comes in as well, getting a fifth-round pick and retained 25% of Hannafin's contract. So lots of third-party brokers so far at this trade deadline. But what's your reaction here? Is Noah Hannafin now a Vegas Golden Knight?
Well, I mean, if you look at their decor, it just adds another top defenseman to our already good decor. I mean, I know there's been some injury troubles with some of their forwards for Vegas, but being able to bring in Noah Hannafin into a team that's already strong defensively, I think it puts Vegas back into that contention of can they repeat?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it too. And I think mixed reviews on what Calgary got in return. But you know what? I think Calgary, they just want to stockpile draft picks and prospects. If there was a better return, I'm sure they would have done that. As per Montreal, if we want to take a quick look at some trade boards, looking at the Athletic here, I've seen a few changes. From Chris Johnston as he's been putting this one together. And I'm seeing some Montreal Canadiens on there, more than I've seen in the last few weeks. Right now, on according to the Athletics trade board, Savard at 21, Jake Allen at 25, and Yoel Armia at 43. So what are your thoughts on some of these trade boards as we approach that deadline tomorrow?
Yeah, I feel like I mean, I'm looking over here at TSN's trade board. Like they have Jake Allen at 14th, and David Savard is at 30th. So I mean, I think everyone is kind of in around the right area where the player should be. Like even on TSN's, like I don't even see Joel Edmondson on this one. So it's pretty intriguing to see the differences between the different channels that cover the trade deadline to see who is ranked where. And well, at least one thing that we can get correct is David Savard and Jake Allen are both on the trade boards.
Yeah. So I think it was not too long ago. It was said that David Savard didn't want to leave Montreal, and he did this interesting magic trick where in January he was on the trade boards, and then he was gone, and now he's back again. So I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you check out both the Canadiens Connection podcast from last week. Head over to your favorite podcasting platform or CanadiensConnection.fm to find that episode and what to expect from Kent Hughes. And of course, on this channel, like I said, I'll forgive each and every one of you if you wanted to check out Amy Johnson's latest Habs hockey report as she talked to Jason Bukala, and we just showed that preview a few minutes ago, and she did a great job talking about the trade deadline for the Montreal Canadiens. If I were to ask you right now, so far, based on what you've seen, do you have a favorite trade and a least favorite trade from all across the NHL?
Like for this year?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I have to say, an interesting one I thought when I heard it come down was Casey Middlestat for Bowen Byron. I remember, Montreal wanted to. That was one of the players, Bowen Byron, that Ken Hughes wanted when they traded Arturi Lehkonen. So I found it very intriguing to see. They just went 1-for-1 for those two players, considering 2 seasons ago Bowen Byron was pretty much an untouchable on Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, part of that too is they managed to acquire Sean Walker from the Philadelphia Flyers for a first-round pick, which I think great trade. That Colorado blue line looks fantastic so far.
Yeah, just I think the trades Colorado in general. I think they're up to 5 over the last couple of days now for trades. So it's been they've been pretty busy on the trade deadline.
Yeah. Probably one of the more exciting trade deadlines of the past few seasons. Was there anyone that stood out as a least favorite trade from around the NHL? Anyone that you want to pick on a little bit?
I could choose a couple of them, but I think I wouldn't call this a bad trade. But another trade I thought was good for Florida was Vladimir Tarasenko going over to Ottawa.
Terrible for Ottawa.
Yes, the return for Ottawa, not the return I would have thought you would get for a Tarasenko, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
good for Florida, not so good for Ottawa.
Yeah, and I think part of that too is they didn't really have any options. Tarasenko with a no movement clause or no trade clause rather. So he wanted to go to Florida. That's been reported. That's the only place he was willing to go to. So of course Ottawa, I think they just kind of took what they can get. I think it's unfortunate they couldn't get more than a third and a fourth, but of course you got to feel bad for Steve Stamkos and camp for being in that position where they've had to get a third and a fourth just to get some assets for an expiring contract.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when players are in that position where they only want to go one place, and puts the team in a situation where it's either they trade something or they get nothing for them, right? So
yeah, but second period does begin. Puck drops, and Carolina immediately on the power play. They'll have about a minute 30 left on that as they try to collect themselves and break into the offensive zone. Looking at the chat just one more time here, Canadiens Connection says Jacob Perreault will take number 34 with Laval, formerly worn by Yakov Novak and Brendan Baddock. So in good company there, number 34, bit of an odd number. What do you think about that choice from Jacob Perreault, the new acquired player from the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah, I mean, interesting. I mean, I know for at least for the Montreal Canadiens, there's not a lot of jersey numbers available, but I think it's a good number. Hopefully, Jacob Perreault and Jake Allen don't end up on the ice at the same time and having to decide who's going to wear 34, right?
Yeah, of course, Perreault will be with Laval there, so I don't think too many worries about it, but kind of funny that he shares that number with a goaltender.
Yeah.
So the Carolina Hurricanes had a nice opportunity there, but nothing to show for it yet. It seems like the moment the Hurricanes have gone on the power play, they've just not been able to figure it out.
Yeah, it's the power play, at least at the end of the first, at the end of the first, it looked like they had their chances, but they just weren't taking shots on net, right? So I feel like they need to shoot that puck a little more and make sure it gets on net, not miss the net like it happened at the beginning of the first period.
Yeah, absolutely. So about 10 seconds left on the power play, and whistle gets blown. Looks like another penalty might be happening here. I'm just waiting to see what the call is there. So holding call for the Carolina Hurricanes. Looks like we'll get some 4-on-4 action. But looking at the replay here, yeah, you see that he holds on to Suzuki's stick. And yeah, you can't do that. I don't know why this player felt that that was the right play.
He's doing a little bit of a locked arms, like they're doing the do-si-do or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right, actually. And Rob Brindamore showing that he's not happy about this. So I believe that's Brady Shea heading to the box for the Carolina Hurricanes. So we'll get some 4-on-4 action here quickly. Looking at the chat here, A.B. Johnson chimes in and says, well, it's the same situation that Primo had. He wears number 31 in Laval, and that was, well, Price was very much still playing in Montreal. So, yeah, it's difficult when you go between farm team and NHL team and wearing the same number there. So kind of funny.
Yeah.
So 4-on-4 here or I guess power play now for Montreal for about a minute 30. They have some trouble getting in past that blue line. They finally managed to, and they're going to play around with it at the blue line. Matheson with a pass. Caulfield can't connect on the one-timer. Now behind the net, trying to send it back to Matheson. He's at the blue line there, and errant pass, terrible pass directly to Carolina, and they're headed the other way.
Slavkovsky was a bad giveaway.
Yeah. Slavkovsky and Matheson should never be on the ice together. Once again, that combo. Matheson actually skated out of the zone during that sequence, which I don't know. I don't get it. But
yeah, you're right. They're both right there. Both of them were kind of had a hand in on that giveaway. So
yeah. So, bouncing puck, Caulfield can't connect for a pass. Now Matheson back at the point. 30 seconds left on the power play. At the side of the net, Caulfield, errored pass, can't get to it. Now Slavkovsky passes it into his teammate Skates. Ullinen trying to do something. He can't find any options. Matheson sends it back to Caulfield. Trying to cut in front, makes a move, can't get anywhere with it. 10 seconds left. Montreal cycling around. Caulfield again with a shot and a great opportunity. Can't finish it.
I thought that was good.
So, actually, a decent power play from Montreal, but no goal on that one. Now, Carolina clears it out, and Montreal's going to have to come back and regroup here. Amy chimes in with Matheson has been brutal with turnovers and giveaways this year. Yes. Yeah, I think you may as well throw Slavkovsky onto that list too.
I agree with you on that one. Oh, yeah.
So I don't think we've had any power play goals so far on this one, and we've seen a few so far. So 0 for 2, both teams on the power play, albeit I don't think they've had at least one power play apiece has been shortened a little bit, but yeah, disappointing showing on special teams from both sides.
Yeah, the thankful part is that Montreal didn't get scored on shorthanded. So.
Yes, that's the important thing, of course.
Knock on some wood here.
So Montreal now back trying to regroup here, sending the puck up the ice. They can't get it past center, and Carolina the other way with a chance. Great shot, but can't hit the net. What an opportunity and what a move.
Yeah, but like can't miss the net from that close though.
So this one gets whistled down, and yeah, both sides just not look. I don't think either side's looked great coming into the second period. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, I mean, both teams have tried to put chances. I mean, there's an opportunity on the power play for Caulfield, but like nothing, no finish right now. No finish. That's for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So still tied 1-1. Montreal actually leading the shot department 11-8. And we have Kokoniemi there at center trying to get the puck loose, but Montreal comes away with it. They try to pass it up the ice, and they get stopped once again. Now, bad giveaway. Carolina in the offensive zone. Wide open shot misses. Carolina can't hit the net. I swear, it'd be 5-1 right now if they hit one of these shots.
Oh, man. I got to simmer down a little bit.
Yeah. So Carolina still with some control here in the offensive zone. Battling in the corner now. Trying to get the puck loose. It's... yeah, certainly a battle. It finally comes free. Montreal's going to come away with it, but a big hit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Looks like everyone got up okay. I don't think there's going to be a penalty.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, it looks like he got sandwiched almost. So I'd be interested to see that replay. Right now, just quickly looking at a replay of that wide open Carolina opportunity. Perfect pass, misses. And then... yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Good thing he fell to the ice, or else that second hit wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, exactly. I think when the camera kind of turned away, it looked like it was a lot worse than it was. Yes. So luckily, everyone's okay.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Carolina now in the offensive zone. Montreal has a body flying and sitting down in front of Montembeault. Finally, Montembeault makes a save. Now the other way, Montreal in the offensive zone, and Slavkovsky takes a tumble.
Oh, what is going on?
I swear, this is fresh ice still. It's only been 6 minutes.
Yeah. Someone put tape on their skates.
Yeah, seriously. Now, Carolina headed the other way, and they're going to set up in the offensive zone. That's Burns with a shot, stopped by Montembeault. That's a big save, but Montembeault not square to that puck.
Yeah. That was a nice shot by Burns, that's for sure.
Yeah, great setup. And I think both teams, if we'd have a lot more goals if they just hit the net. I think that goes for both sides too. I forgot how many opportunities Montreal had.
Yeah, like on that power play, that pass from Caulfield to Suzuki, actually, Anderson actually was able to get across and just get his skate on it to make that puck not go in the net. So I originally thought it hit the post, but no, Frederik Anderson getting over, making that save. Huge for Carolina, and huge saves from Montembeault as well. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, good saves from Montembeault, and like not to critique someone making a very good save, but he seems to be struggling to track those pucks. I felt like on that last shot from Burns, he wasn't really squared to where the puck was.
yeah, he was like, he was like on an angle. He still made the save, but like if that puck was like a foot over to his right, it would be, a funny bounce off him, maybe in the net or over the net or something, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So Montembeault's going to want to watch out for that and start tracking that puck a little bit better. But entertaining first little bit of the second period. Neither team with anything to show of it, but some back and forth, some defensive breakdowns, and some struggles to get the proper shot on net.
yeah, those missing the nets from that close is for both teams isn't good, right? Like you got to be able to get those shots on net, create a rebound, or create a better opportunity than what you're faced with. So hopefully both teams can tighten that up in the first or second. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming back into the play, the TV break finally comes to an end there, and yeah, I think this might be a high scoring period for both teams. What do you think that a team's going to finally be able to capitalize?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say for sure Carolina's got to put one of those open shots they've been getting in the net. And I know that Montreal Canadiens have had they tough second periods. So, hopefully Montreal can get out of the second period not too far behind.
Yeah, Carolina with a lot of opportunities. Man in front of Montembeault. Montembeault dropped his stick briefly. And this is going to get whistled down here. Yeah, that's going to be an offside call. Canadiens Connection chimes in with Bowen Byram scores his first goal as a Sabre. And that was very quick.
Yeah.
He's going to be an interesting fit there. They have quite a few pieces on that blue line now. I'm just curious how they're going to manage to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, now Bowen Byron. Again, another team growing their defensive core, which is great to see.
Absolutely. About 13 and a half left in this period. Carolina in the offensive zone. Shot from Burns gets deflected. I think that luckily hits Montembeault's toe. That could have gone in. I don't think he saw it.
Yeah, that was a great reactionary save by Montembeault. That was definitely a toe save for sure.
Yeah, I think at the last minute he kind of stuck it out. Hurricanes back at it, trying to charge through the middle, but they get stopped up. Now it's Natchez sending it to the point for a shot. That one gets blocked. And as Amy says, I'm going to need somebody to start scoring some goals, people. Yeah, that's absolutely my mood right now, too. We're getting like some decent opportunities, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one, Michael. And I feel that I know Montreal had a couple opportunities, but I think majority of them have been coming from Carolina as of late.
Yeah, since that power play.
Yeah.
And, point shot gets Montembeault high. He covers that up. I think I hit him in the mask. He's gonna have to take off the helmet and adjust a little bit, but he looks all right.
Yeah.
At the other end there, too, Freddie Anderson being very aggressive coming out to play the puck. Almost thought he got caught on the trapezoid rule. And yeah, I think he actually got in the way of one of Montreal's forwards getting to the puck first.
Yeah, I mean, good. I'm not sure if Frederik Anderson that was his intention, but I mean, it was a good play for him and kind of get in the way of Montreal Canadiens player.
Yeah, I think tonight for the goaltenders, it's better to be lucky than good.
Yes. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Still 1-1 now. Carolina leading shots 14-11. It's been all Carolina lately. But Matheson with a long shot from the point doesn't go anywhere. Might have hit Anderson, but easy stop. All the way back to the offensive zone. Carolina in front.
Oh, no.
Can't get it past Montembeault. They're going to head it the other way now. Great opportunity. Amy says, any Canes fans watching the stream with us tonight, don't be shy. Everyone's welcome. And that's true. We appreciate fans of all teams. So if you're a Canes fan, by all means, let us know. Get into that chat. So now approaching 11 minutes. Anderson out behind his net to play that puck. That one kind of misses his defender, but it goes all the way out to center. So perhaps a missed pass there by Carolina. Canadiens Connection says after 30 minutes, high danger scoring chances are 6-1 Carolina, as per natural stat trick. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Actually, I'm not surprised that it's so lopsided in that department.
Yeah, I think that one came on that power play with Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So now in the Montreal offensive zone, just going to take one more look at the chat here quickly. A Shadow Kitty comes in from Amy's keyboard to the ears of the hockey gods. So fingers crossed.
Yes.
Montreal in their own zone trying to break it out. Having to be very careful as Carolina's been quite aggressive on the forecheck. And Armia comes in very offside. So... yeah, still not a whole lot in terms of offense. These last few minutes have really slowed down for both teams. I don't think we've had too many good chances since that, I guess, that last save by Montembeault that hit him in the mask.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's, I mean, both teams are trying to, pick. I mean, Carolina's being very aggressive on the forecheck and fast rate, and I think Montreal's just trying to stay with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Carolina breaking in with speed, almost comes through center. That's an easy shot, easy save by Montembeault, and they cannot capitalize on that one. Now trying to come back in again. It seems like Carolina is really trying to push their way through the center ice there in the offensive zone. They've made that a few times.
Yeah, they're really not letting Montreal do anything, like you said, in the neutral zone, just coming down the middle, even coming down the wing as well, and just trying to keep that puck out of their defensive zone, which is good to see, especially, giving their goalie a little bit of a break, considering he hasn't played in 5 months.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit of a break here, and now we get the puck drop finally. Montreal wins it in their own zone. About 10 minutes left. Carolina on defense, playing the puck back up ice, long pass, backhanded in. To Montreal stops that one up, but hands it right back to the Carolina Hurricanes. Man. Now Montreal again trying to break it out. Big hit at the blue line, and Carolina comes back the other way. Shot doesn't hit anyone, but goes up and over the glass. But yeah, that was a pretty big stand-up hit right at the Montreal blue line.
Yeah, Jordan Staal on Jake Evans. That was good hit by Jordan Staal, and good to see he still has the hitting power at as he's getting older. But yeah, I noticed Struble had a huge hit too. A couple minutes ago as well in the neutral zone. So I mean, I think the hits are starting to come out here, and could see this game get a little aggressive.
Yeah, if you can't score, you got to take the body. And not a bad thing. It'll make things a little bit more entertaining. But yeah, this period's really fizzled down quite a bit. It started off very entertaining, and then I think both teams kind of stepping back. Carolina still seems to be getting the better of the play, but they just can't seem to finish and can't seem to execute as they're really trying to force their way through the center ice.
Yeah, I agree with you on all those points. Like, it's just from watching the game, you see that Carolina is controlling. I mean, if you look at all the stats, I'm sure you'd see Carolina leading in most of them, and as that one stat that Canadiens Connection brought up for the high danger scoring chances rate. So I mean, it's I'm going to say it's been mostly Carolina this period, and Montreal needs to take a next step in their game to try to counter that.
Yeah, absolutely. And nice to see Freddie Anderson back in the net. I mentioned earlier, it's been kind of a carousel of goaltenders in net for the Hurricanes over this season. They've actually had, 5 different guys in net. Yaniv Peretz, Spencer Martin, Kochetkov, Anderson, and Antti Ranta. And I don't think any of those guys have really taken the reins. I think Spencer Martin's been a bit of a surprise coming off of waivers. But what is your thought on the Carolina Hurricanes goalie situation, and how important is it to get Freddie Andersen back?
Well, I think, especially when you have 5 goaltenders coming in through a season, it kind of like, we know it here from Montreal, having 3 goaltenders in a rotating lineup is difficult on the goaltenders and on their gameplay, right? So I can only imagine having that many goaltenders and having to not play as many games as frequently. So I think it's been very important for Frederik Andersen to come back and try to solidify that number 1 goaltending spot for Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's made a couple big saves tonight. I think that first one, the Joshua Waugh goal, he'll want that one back for sure. But I think we both agreed we'll allow him 1 bad goal, but the rest of the way, he's going to have to be very solid.
Yeah, I mean, his defense, his players in front of him are playing great defense and not allowing Montreal to have anything good coming at him. So it's good. It's good to see Frederik Andersen and the Carolina Hurricanes playing a good game of hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that cross crease save that you mentioned there, he did a great job on that one. Nice to see that lateral movement from him, and even going almost an entire power play in that first period without a stick and still making some good saves.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many goaltenders that can say, "Oh yeah, it was we were shorthanded and I still didn't have my goalie stick and I made all these saves."
Absolutely. So less than 10 minutes to go. Montreal in the offensive zone here, trying to hang on to it, but bit of a scramble, broken play. Carolina does send it out of the zone here. That was kind of a mix of events. Hard to describe what happened there.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, if we had a couple more seconds, we could have had a Cole Caulfield right in front of the
net. Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the chat here, Amy's chiming in. This is going to be one of those games where Montreal holds them off all during the second period and then allow like 5 goals in the third. Not a ton of optimism for Montreal. Just brutal in the chat so far.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not, we're not too hopeful on Montreal Canadiens, eh?
Yeah, no. They are in the offensive zone, and they are getting some good opportunities here. Actually, it was a great play, and Matheson almost ruined it, but he's going to hang on to it. Hangs on to it far too long. I think he still has it. All right, he made it work. It was weird moment. Caulfield with a shot. Matheson now in front of the net, he has it again, cycling around along the boards. He's going to have to be very careful here. There's lots of Carolina bodies. He finally gets knocked down behind the goal line. Montreal still hangs on to it. Back to Matheson again. What a shift from Matheson, and I don't know if I like it or not. What exactly whoa. You're going to have to talk to me, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't know. Matheson, he's having this game again where he's giving the puck up, not playing his position. So it's not looking good for Matheson right now. He's not playing a good game, I think.
Yeah, but I guess a bit of an up and down sequence on that last one. Hanging on to the puck, almost went out of the zone on a couple of occasions, but he somehow managed to hang on to it. And then he ends up going behind Freddie Andersen's net, still hanging on to it and just making some great moves, being strong with his body, and just the most bizarre sequence there by Mike Matheson. But it ends up working out because Montreal had some good zone time off of that.
Yeah, no, it's good skating legs for Matheson, and I wish we'd have a little more, maybe put the puck on net and have our guys kind of crash type deal.
Yeah. But Montreal still in the offensive zone here. Good shot there that ends up going high. Amy says he's trying to make sure he doesn't get traded, so referring to Mike Matheson. And just love this reaction from Shadow Kitty. That's been my face the entire time, so I appreciate that. And Andersen gets crashed into. He falls over into his net. The crowd's going nuts, but Carolina headed the other way. And Carolina with a great opportunity. That shot hits Montembeault and goes wide. So Canadiens Connection says Armia fell into Anderson, but no call. That was a bizarre sequence. It took me a second to really process that, but it looks like Anderson's okay now. They've cleared that out. No call though, which is kind of surprising. Montreal back in the offensive zone here, and Carolina's going to come back the other way. But did you see Armia fall into Anderson?
No, I ended up missing that, but I mean, for a player to fall into the goaltender and not being called, like it was called earlier in this game, the refs need to be making sure that they're calling all of them, eh?
Yeah, I think so. We've got to protect those goalies for sure.
Especially, Frederik Andersen hasn't played in 4 or 5 months, so it's been a while for him, and be a shame to see him get injured off a play like that.
Yeah, but looks like he's okay so far. I think Carolina handled that pretty well. Instead of, I guess, causing a line brawl of sorts, they went in the other direction and had a very good scoring opportunity, an odd man rush. You could hear the crowd was not happy with the lack of call on that play too. So I guess it's going to be all right for now. But yeah, like you said, bit of a surprise there was no call on that. And Armia is a big guy, so I'm just happy to see Freddie Anderson stand back up.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on those points there, Michael.
And just a little reminder, too, to everyone watching along with us. Once again, once we get to intermission, we'll take a 3-minute break, and then we'll have an intermission show for you once again. We have a few more things we want to talk to everyone about, especially some of this trade deadline stuff. Will help you navigate where to find all the best information as we lead up to tomorrow's trade deadline. What are your thoughts on one Joshua Waugh? He's been looking pretty good every single game. Seems like he's had a lot of confidence. So far in 17 NHL appearances, he's put up 7 points. So what have you thought about him? And he's even scored tonight, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's coming into his own into the NHL. So I mean, he had a little bit of a slow start at the beginning. Obviously, most young guys who are just coming into the NHL have that transitional period. But I think, like you said, Michael, over the last couple of games, even tonight, he's got a goal, and his shot's looking stronger and stronger too as well. And just his hockey sense for where it needs to be on the ice is looking really good too as well. And I'm sure his line mates are noticing his trajectory upward in his gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was a bit of a star for Laval this season. He had a great season when he was in the American League. Of course, coming off a pretty good stint in junior as well. So it's nice to see that this is a prospect that's earning his way into the NHL this far, at least. But I don't think he's an NHL player at the moment. I still want to see a little bit more patience and let him develop. Send him back to Laval at some point, but certainly earning his spot in the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's good. It's good to see the young players getting their chances at the big club.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting stat just seeing here. Cole Caulfield leading the way, shots on goal for Montreal. He's got 4 so far, and just behind him, Nick Suzuki with 3 shots. So, of course, that top duo having a pretty good game so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see them getting the chances. We gotta see them bearing those chances too as well.
Absolutely. So coming back from the break here, coming up on the 5-minute mark, Carolina with the breakout pass. It gets past the blue line, coming up strong along the boards here. Backhand pass. That's a good opportunity. Stopped by Montembeault. And the rebound goes up and out of the zone. Now Carolina regrouping behind their net, but another great opportunity off the break for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, again, one of those opportunities for Carolina where they make a good play out of their own zone and make it into a good offensive play in Montreal zone. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Still tied up 1-1 though, waiting for that next goal. Carolina looking to break it out once again here. Yeah, they managed to dump and chase, it looks like, but no, a little bit of confusion on that play as it was made to look like a dump and chase was about to happen, but it didn't quite happen, and Carolina gets ahead of themselves, getting an offside. So, yeah, a little bit. I think even the players were a bit confused about that one. I've not seen a forward just take off like that without the puck being in the zone. So that's a little
Yeah.
bit weird.
I think they jumped the gun a little bit there, thinking where that puck was going to be. So, I mean, an offside call, it stops the play. So hopefully, they can regroup and continue on.
Yeah, absolutely. So less than 5 minutes to go here. Both teams looking to break through in this period, and just want to bring back one great comment that Amy put up a few minutes ago. Amy says, "Is this going to be one of those games where Montreal holds them off during the second period and then allow like 5 goals in the third?" And I think that's the general feeling from a lot of people watching along with us tonight. But if you disagree, feel free to let us know in the chat. Amy says, per the Arizona Coyotes PR account, they're holding out Matt Dumba and Jason Zucker from tonight's game as per trade-related reasons. So certainly more trade talk heating up tonight. Michael Bunting being held out of the lineup for the Carolina Hurricanes for trade-related reasons as well. So yeah, it's been difficult to like know what roster is doing what tonight. This has been pretty hard to follow.
Oh yeah, this trade deadline stuff. It's there's a lot to consume. There's a lot to navigate through, and it's just you could say something right now, and by the end of the game, it could be totally different, right? So
yeah. So yeah, I think last year too. I think about what happened to Jacob Chikrin in Arizona, where it felt like he was held out for the longest time. I don't know. I don't remember the exact amount of time, but it felt like it was months.
yeah, it felt like I remember that now that you bring it up. It was at least a month for sure because they just really wanted to get a good return on him.
Yeah, and that they did. And once again, it looks like Jacob Chikrin in the trade rumors again. He's been on that athletic trade board as per today, at least in that top 5. So curious to see if he'll end up moving anywhere. And we'll just have to wait and see on that as well.
Yep, that big day happening tomorrow.
Yep. So less than 4 minutes to go in this one. Carolina Hurricanes are going to dump this one into the offensive zone, this time onside. And Montreal trying to battle to get the puck away. And they might not be successful here as Carolina being very strong in using their body. Cutting towards the net, almost a strong play towards Montembeault that gets knocked away. Now Slavin walking along the line here, looking for any opportunity. And there's going to be a penalty against Carolina in the offensive zone. I think Jake Evans may have taken a high stick. Ooh. So, yeah. And Carolina does not look happy about this.
Yeah, I thought it was, I saw a Carolina guy go down in front of our net at first. I thought it was penalty towards Montreal, but we'll take a power play.
Yeah, we'll take that power play, slow down Carolina. And it's number 20, Sebastian Aho to the box for the Hurricanes. So just kind of battling in front, and yeah, that's definitely a high stick. It just kind of goes up underneath the visor too. Could have gone him in the eye. So looks like Jake Evans will be okay. The stat they show on the screen here, and Montreal 29th on the penalty kill, which of course their special teams not great this season. There's an opportunity to make it a little bit better as they go on the power play. They've given up a lot of shorthanded goals. Right now, it seems like the set play that Montreal has is getting Slavkovsky to shoot a lot more. What have you thought about that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what Montreal has been getting Slav to do, is to shoot the puck more. How would I feel about it? To be honest, I like it because, I mean, I think he has some great opportunities, and he just, in the beginning of the season didn't really take those shots, but now he is. But sometimes I think he just needs to be selective on what shots to take.
Yeah. So Nick Suzuki trying to get in past the blue line. Caulfield's there. He tries to backhand pass. The Carolina Hurricanes being very strong on the puck, and they'll come back the other way. Slap shot. Montembeault stops that one, and he decides to cover it up. He almost put it back in play, but he doesn't want any more of that. Carolina with the best opportunity on this Montreal power play.
Yeah, they're zipping around. They've been doing that for most of this period, just applying the pressure on the forecheck and just trying to get that puck from Montreal Canadiens. It seems to be working in their favor, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Montreal does win that one, and it's everyone's favorite Mike Matheson there with the puck, trying to break it out. Past the red line, drop pass goes a little bit far, but Montreal hangs on to it, and they do get into the offensive zone. Now behind the net, Slafkovsky loses the puck. Carolina clears it, tipped out to the other blue line, and Matheson's there to collect it once again. 1 minute left on this Montreal power play. If I didn't see that it was a power play on the screen, I would have no idea that it's a Montreal power play right now.
I completely agree with you on that one. It just Carolina Hurricanes are just playing good defense, and just the puck's not even going in their zone right now.
Yeah. Now it's dump and chase. Anderson touches that one out. Montreal does get a hold of it, but not for long. But Matheson does hold on to it. Okay, so we're good. Now Montreal in the offensive zone. They might get one opportunity on the power play. About 20 seconds left. Caulfield passes that one off. Matheson at the blue line spins around, passes it into nothing. Now Montreal manages to hang on to it at the side of the net. Shot from Matheson. That one misses. And once again, Matheson at the blue line passes it in. It looks like Slafkovsky, and an error pass. That one gets sent out of the zone. Nothing doing for Montreal on that power play. That's if I've ever seen a train wreck.
Yeah, that's. I don't even know what to say about that power play, because there was no. I don't even think they got a shot on net.
No. So about 1 minute left in this period. No goals, still tied 1-1. That Joshua Waugh and Brady Shea goals from that first period still holding up. Montreal trying to break this one out. Maybe they'll get a better opportunity now that it's 5-on-5, and cuts towards the net. They can't get anywhere. Burns is going to touch this one up as Carolina heads the other way. Now, past the red line, past the blue line, Carolina's in. Shot goes on Montembeault from far, but no danger on that one. 30 seconds now behind the Montreal net, battling in the corner. And it looks like Montreal's going to come away with it briefly. It's Jake Evans, but given away. Carolina with a shot, goal. Carolina Hurricanes capitalize on that.
Jeez.
So 24 seconds left. Amy says it all. Oh boy, late Carolina goal. And yikes. I feel like, they finally managed to capitalize on one of these opportunities. That's kind of the set play that they've been doing all game.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
They managed to get the rebound. I think that was the important thing there. The initial shot got blocked a little bit. But, it's that backhand on the rebound.
I think, Jack had blocked it, and then the puck was just sitting there in front of Monty and tapped it in.
So there you go, Carolina with another goal. So 10 seconds to go. Montreal might get an opportunity here if they speed up, but it doesn't look like they will. 2-1, and that's it. Stefan Nason with the go-ahead goal. 2-1 Carolina. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. Going to take a quick break, and then we'll have our intermission show. We'll help you all navigate to the trade deadline as that's coming in hot tomorrow. We'll see you in about 3 minutes. And we're back. This is the Rocket Sports live stream. I'm here with my colleague Nathan. My name is Michael Spinella, and we'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight as we watch the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina up 2-1 after that second period. I'm just going to show here. Tweet coming in from one Rick Stevens. Shots on goal 13-11 for Carolina in the second period. Hurricanes lead 2-1. The only CH goal coming from Joshua Waugh in that first period. So make sure that you head over to Twitter and follow at Rocket Sports as we live tweet every single game throughout the season for the Montreal Canadiens. And Nathan, just quickly here, what are your thoughts on that period? Is this what you expected?
Yeah, honestly, like I've been saying throughout the live stream, is that Montreal Canadiens have a hard time in the second period. So I kind of expected Carolina to turn it up in the second period. But for that late goal to go in against the Habs, that's got to hurt them a little bit.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a Stefan Nason goal to happen in the last minute of the second period, assisted by Jack Drury and Jalen Chatfield. So, yeah, rebound to an ugly rebound that it looked like it was blocked by, I believe it was Gallagher that was down on the ice, and then a backhand shot that just beat Montembeault as he was trying to scramble over and save that puck. But unfortunately, that one ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah, definitely not definitely a goal that Montreal would like back. That stinks a little bit. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So it's trade deadline eve. The NHL has been going off the last couple days. Tons of trades happening. And just a little reminder, we're going to help everyone try and navigate this trade deadline for the Montreal Canadiens. There are some moves that they could do. I talked about this a little bit on episode 285 of Canadiens Connection alongside Rick Stevens. Kent Hughes certainly is a patient general manager. It's paid off in his first season as it went right down to the last few minutes of the trade deadline with that Arturi Lehkonen trade to Colorado, rather, getting a second-round pick alongside Justin Barron. And then last season, not so much. Montreal was very quiet at the trade deadline. So what can you expect this trade deadline? Well, look at the history, and we help you navigate that one. Head over to your favorite podcasting app or CanadiensConnection.fm. Make sure you check that one out ahead of tomorrow's deadline. Also, Montreal has a couple trade chips in play. Jake Allen is one of them. David Savard's another one. Yoel Armia appearing on Chris Johnston's trade board from the Athletic. And, what's the potential of that? Well, Amy Johnson on this YouTube channel interviewed Jason Bukala from Sportsnet. Great interview. It's on this channel. I'll forgive you all once again if you want to take a few minutes just to check that out. And make sure you do check it out before the trade deadline tomorrow, as he had tons of great insights. I'm going to give you all a little bit of a preview, and just make sure that when you go over to watch that video, hit like and subscribe. That way you don't miss any of our great content. And I'll give you a sneak preview of Amy Johnson's interview with Jason Bukala.
Where I'm going with the big picture, though, here this week is I honestly think that they're going to be very patient, take stock of maybe an emergency phone call, if you will. And what I mean by that is like a team that's right up against it, and they're like, we really need to fill this, whether it's a 1B goaltending situation with like a Jake Allen, because obviously it's not ideal carrying three goaltenders on the roster. And we definitely want Montembeault and Primo to get more time in practice. And you just want it to be more fluid going forward. Three goalies is a difficult thing to keep everybody fresh through practice and everything. Obviously David Savard, you're going to hear all these names that are going to be coming up, but if I'm sitting in Kent Hughes' shoes, and as I've got to know Kent a little bit more over the last couple of years, especially in his style of how he likes to operate amongst the league, I think he's going to be very patient, and I think it's wise.
So make sure you check out that interview. That's just a little snip preview there, talking about goaltending, of course, and I'll just let everyone know where they can find all of our content. Not only on this channel, but head over to the Hockey News. That's thn.com/Montreal, as we've got you covered there with game day posts. And also recently, Chris G, our very own, put out a great article talking about that three-headed goalie situation in Montreal. Make sure you check that out too ahead of the deadline. Follow at Rocket Sports on Twitter. Follow Rocket Sports Media Inc. on Facebook, Rocket Sports Media on Instagram, and of course, check out our podcast, CanadiensConnection.fm. On Saturday, we will have another brand new episode of that, and we'll talk about the trade deadline as that comes tomorrow, and great timing with our Saturday podcast as well. Nathan, have you ever spent trade deadline day sitting down and watching TSN or Sportsnet for the entire day?
Well, in short, I haven't been able to, considering my work's always going on during that time. But I would love to at some point in my lifetime to be able to sit down and be able to watch these trade deadlines. But I mean, at least for this year and parts of last, I mean, the trade deadline seems to be happening before the day. Would you say?
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like that's been the trend for the last few years. I think this year there's been a lot happening before the deadline, but still a lot could happen tomorrow. So, yeah, I know it's been a bit of an ongoing joke of, Sportsnet and TSN doing a full day broadcast. Everyone feels bad for James Duthie in camp. I'm not going to lie, all throughout high school, at least 3 out of 4 years between grades 9 and 12, trade deadline day always seemed to be on a snow day for me, so I didn't have to go to school. And literally, that's what I do. I just pop on, flip between Sportsnet and TSN, and it's not a great broadcast, I'm not going to lie, but it was always kind of fun. Like you said, not a ton of trades have been going down during trade deadlines over the past few years, so you don't get a whole lot of breaking news, and you see that they're struggling to come up with content. But for me, it's always been kind of a nice memory to look back and be like, yeah, what's the most useless thing I could do on a snow day? Watch TSN and Sportsnet for the trade deadline coverage.
I love that story. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. I look back at that too, and I think I could have at least been playing video games, but that didn't happen, of course. But anyways, coming up on tomorrow, a little reminder about the trade boards via The Athletic, at least, brought by Chris Johnston. Savard currently at 21, Jake Allen at 25, and Yoel Armia at 43. Right now, though, I think it's all eyes on Jake Gensel. What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Michael. Jake Gensel being at the top of, I think I saw it on TSN's, I saw it on Sportsnet's, pretty much on everyone's trade board. He's the next big piece, next big trade piece. So it's going to be interesting how that trade plays out and which team ultimately gets him. And is it a 2-team trade, a 3-team trade? Who knows? It's gonna be very interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, Michael Bunting being held out of the lineup by the Hurricanes, and there's been reports that this could be due to the Jake Gensel trade to Pittsburgh. So you're seeing that go down. I think that it's time for the Pittsburgh Penguins to maybe capitalize on this situation, as their team's been kind of lacking. And I feel bad for Crosby and Malkin and Camp that they've just not had the right supporting pieces around them.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure all 3 of those players took team-friendly contracts to all stay together to try to push for that one more Stanley Cup. So it does hurt to see, them not doing as well as we'd hope.
Yeah. Montreal making a minor trade today, Jan Mysak in exchange for Jacob Perreault. Jacob Perreault is going to report to Laval in all likelihood, but Kent Hughes got to work early this season for his trade deadline moves, and that was Sean Monahan being traded to the Winnipeg Jets for a first and a conditional third. Just a brief reaction on that, and what have you thought about Sean Monahan since entering Winnipeg?
I think he's been playing great. He's been able to boost the Winnipeg's power play, be able to boost their face-off numbers. He even scored a hat trick one game for the Winnipeg Jets. So I really feel that the fit for him in Winnipeg has been very great for both sides of for Winnipeg and Sean Monahan.
Yeah, absolutely. In your opinion, is there a team out there approaching tomorrow's deadline that still has the most work to do? Is there any team that is going to want to get to work tonight?
Yeah, I feel that the Tampa Bay Lightning definitely have a lot of work to do, especially since they had a defenseman go out that could be out for the remainder of the season. I would definitely have someone, fill that void. But also, they're in a wild card spot. So, and there's teams that are knocking that have games in hand that could potentially take Tampa Bay out if they can't continue to play good hockey. So I really feel that Tampa Bay really needs to figure out what pieces they need and make those trades so they can continue to hold that first wild card spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, the Pittsburgh Penguins are a team that probably want to be a little bit more active. At some point, we know the Gensel trade's going to happen, but also Riley Smith is pretty high up on some of those trade boards. New Jersey as well. It's been said that they could be looking for a goaltender. That goaltender could be Jacob Markstrom, but what do you think about those two teams getting to work before tomorrow?
Yeah, and to kind of go off my point there, Pittsburgh is one of those teams that has games in hand over the Tampa Bay Lightning and over most teams in the Eastern Conference right now. So I mean, they still have time to, like you said, if they can pick up a couple pieces, that could help them out huge. And then the goalie situation for New Jersey, it's they definitely need a goaltender. Whether Calgary wants to trade Markstrom, if the Devils give them a good offer, it's whether or not is Calgary going to trade Markstrom at this point.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. So far in the last few days, I think I've said a few times, we've had a lot of trades, but do you deem any team so far to be the winners of the trade deadline and any team to be the loser?
Yeah, I think for a team that's looking pretty good right now would have to be the Colorado Avalanche. They've been pretty busy. Like I said, making those trades and adding the people to the defense, adding Middlestat to their offense. And so I feel like the Colorado Avalanche they're on their way to making themselves look good at the end of this trade deadline.
For sure.
And for the teams that haven't really looked too good, I would have to say, I'd have to agree with you with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They haven't made any moves that are going to help them right now. But like you said, that Jake Getsel trade could be the piece that moves the needle. Maybe they could get a big return, or at least to help their future out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think about what the Philadelphia Flyers have done, getting a first-round pick for Sean Walker? That's pretty good work there by Daniel Briere.
Yeah, no, it's Daniel Briere actually got what he wanted for Sean Walker, and I'm really happy to see that he didn't move on his what he wanted, right? So he kind of did the thing that Kent Hughes did. He's kind of it wasn't taking anything less than that first round draft pick. So I mean, great management by Daniel Briere on getting Sean Walker out and getting a first round pick in.
Yeah, I think the Edmonton Oilers made another trade that I like too, taking on Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick. Of course, they send a first-round pick the other way among some other assets. But what do you think about the fit of one Adam Henrique in Edmonton?
I think that's going to be a good fit. It gives them hopefully 3 lines now at this point that can go deep into the playoffs and help them score goals, right? So. I mean, they got a strong first line, a strong second line. I don't with Adam Henrique coming in. Who knows where he's going to fit? He's going to be in the top 6, top 9. We'll have to wait to see what Edmonton does with that. But I think it's a good trade on Edmonton's side. For
sure. And as for losers, what do you think about throwing Ottawa in amongst those losers? I know it's not completely their fault, as Tarasenko had a no trade clause, and he was only willing to go to Florida. At that point, you take what you can get. But nonetheless, Tarasenko for a 3rd and a 4th round pick, not great. And still a few more moves that they could probably make before the deadline.
Yeah, I feel for Ottawa. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks when a player kind of has all the pieces in control of what's going to happen with their future, right? So hopefully Ottawa can move those pieces that they want to move out tomorrow by the end of tomorrow and start moving in the direction where they want to go.
Absolutely. Some news coming from Canadiens Connection. Per David Pagnotta, Michael Bunting, Alexander Barabanov, Anthony Duclair, Tyler Toffoli, Jason Zucker, Matt Dumba, Eric Johnson, all scratched tonight for trade-related reasons.
Wow.
And coming in from Amy Johnson, we have acquired forward Anthony Duclair and a 7th-round pick in 2025 NHL draft from San Jose Sharks in exchange for defenseman Jack Thompson and Tampa Bay's 3rd-round pick in the 2024 draft. So Anthony Duclair on the move. Anthony Duclair, that's for Tampa, rather. Amy clarifying there that Anthony Duclair, now a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I like Anthony Duclair as a player. I think that's a great move. A bit underrated. He brings a ton of speed, and I think that that's a good offensive player being brought to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on all those points, Michael. I think the one thing that stands out to me is Anthony Duclair's speed that he brings. But it's good to see San Jose able to make a couple moves, especially with their team being at the bottom of the standings and not doing as well as they thought.
Yeah. As we come into this 3rd period, just one final thing. You mentioned that Tampa Bay was a team you were hoping would get to work, potentially a loser so far. But yeah, they've not, but they finally do get to work. So there you go. You get your wish.
Yeah. Hopefully they continue making moves.
And scramble in front of Anderson. Anderson looking at his net, and the puck goes in. Tied game 2-2. I don't know what happened to Freddie Anderson there, that he just kind of fell and scrambled a bit.
Wow.
Amy's saying Habs goal, but waved off, so possibly goalie interference.
Yeah, there's a lot of people flying around in front of that net.
Yeah.
Take a look at the replay.
Yeah, it looks like, and Canadiens Connection is pointing this out too. Newhook wiped out Anderson while with his goal. Yeah, I wonder if this is going to get called back because, yeah, Newhook really went hard into Anderson and knocked him over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's in the blue paint too. He's not even outside of the blue paint.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see what they determine on that one. But Montreal coming out with speed there, a good opportunity at the very least. And yeah, I think that Freddie Anderson's not going to be too happy if that gets called a goal.
Yeah, especially with the contact that was made, and especially how, there was a potential call that could have been called against Montreal with a goaltender interference earlier in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Anderson may be selling this a bit too. Yeah.
That angle looks a little different.
Yeah. So we'll see what they have to say about it. Just quickly in the chat here too. Canadiens Connection says after 40 minutes, high danger scoring chances, 5-on-5, 11-2 for Carolina, as per natural stat trick. And it looks like that's getting waved off completely. So no goal for Montreal. I think it's the right call to make it goalie interference.
Yeah, they gotta make those. They gotta call those calls when they see them, right? And
yeah,
Montreal got lucky with that one that wasn't. So
yeah, for sure. And I think regardless of that, you made contact with Anderson, and I don't think he had a fair chance of getting to that puck. Although I think he sold it a little bit, which you're kind of supposed to do, unfortunately.
Yeah, what does the coach tell you at a young age? Feel a stick or feel a contact, sell it.
Yeah, exactly. I remember having a hockey coach tell that to me too. He's like, you don't go down easy enough, man. But back to the game here. Pretty exciting first minute here. Could have been tied 2-2, but that, of course, gets called back, as we were saying. Since then, it's been all about Carolina as they've had the majority of the play in the offensive zone.
Oof.
That one, shot goes on to Montembeault and covered up. So, exciting couple minutes. It's a lot more action than I feel like we got in that second period.
Yes. And it's good to see Montreal came out with some legs underneath them, but that no goal call is kind of deflated their tires a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And just want to remind everyone too, if you're not already aware, we're going to stick around for a few minutes after this period. We'll do a little recap and take a final round talking about everything that happened in that game. So make sure you stick around once the game is complete, and we'd love to chat with you. Great opportunity by Anderson and stopped by the other Anderson. Glove save. Strong power move by Josh Anderson there, and great shot too.
Uh-oh, little scrum.
Yeah. But yeah, what a break there by Josh Anderson. I think that's the most I've seen from him in the last couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, I mean, Frederick Anderson had to throw that glove out pretty quick to save that one. So
Yeah. But good burst of speed from Anderson coming down the side there, and he tried to pick the corner, but Freddie Anderson flashing the glove. He knew exactly where that was going to go.
yeah, maybe he kind of tempted him to shoot there, eh?
Yeah. So offensive zone faceoff for Montreal. Carolina leading the shot department 23-21 so far. So it's pretty close, but not so close when you look at the actual chances.
Mm-hmm.
And Canadiens Connection says Anderson gave Anderson the target and the Habs shooter hit it. That's exactly right. Not confusing to talk about at all. Montreal with a shot right in front of Anderson. He stops that one. Almost a wide open net on the rebound. They can't get a guy to it on time. Montreal now getting a couple of good chances here. Freddie Anderson putting on a show.
Yeah. No, it's this is the most pressure I think Montreal's had all game.
Yeah, probably their best opportunities too. So whatever Marty said in the dressing room really gave them a boost of energy. And Carolina's going to have to be careful as Freddie's been bailing them out on a couple of occasions here.
Yeah, I mean, a good shift by the third line, right? Jake Evans, Josh Anderson, and Brendan Gallagher. It's been good for them, and it's good to see that trying to see a little bit more scoring outside of the first line.
Yeah, absolutely. Hurricanes heading the other way, a one-on-one opportunity before everyone else catches up. Shot at the side of the net, rebound. That one spurts out in front. Montreal heading the other way. And Amy Johnson chimes in and says our viewer poll will close right now. Then it's been all night. Let me try that again. My apologies. Our viewer poll is closer right now than it's been all night. Make sure you put in your vote in the top of the chat. So make sure you answer that viewer poll and make sure you let us know your thoughts. So now in the offensive zone for Montreal, that one gets cleared out. Might be getting an icing here, and they will. So that's going to come all the way back to the Carolina zone. Yeah, I think you were saying a few times there that this is probably the best Montreal's looked all night, but Carolina's starting to battle back a little bit.
Yeah, they're not going to let Montreal come storming back that easy, it looks like it.
A couple great saves from Freddie Anderson there. And, of course, that waved off goal to start things up.
Yeah, big save actually on Calgary there. It was kind of almost a side-to-side save there.
And Amy Johnson in the chat, our poll will stay open until the 5-minute mark, so make sure you get all your answers in. So, looks like we're getting a tripping call. Canadiens back to the power play. I believe that was Chatfield that got called.
Yeah, I think so too. It was Chatfield, yeah. I was like, the camera view is right there.
Yeah. So no power play goals yet. Montreal 0-for-3, Carolina 0-for-2. And lots of bad penalties on both sides. So we'll see where this goes. And Armia, of course, was the one that got tripped up by Chatfield. So I think that's the right call.
Oh, yeah. Stick and skates. Clearly stuck in between his legs.
Absolutely. So now offensive face-off for Montreal. They have all the big guns out there, and they'll come away with possession, but it gets knocked out past the blue line. Now it's a race for it. Matheson does get there first. Carolina causing a little bit of havoc. Matheson carrying the puck in. He drops it back to the blue line. Pretty sweet move there, and Slavkovsky passes it across the ice. Lots of energy from Montreal right now. Lots of poise. Looking for the right opportunities, though. We'll see if we can get any shots on net now. And that one gets intercepted. Carolina the other way. Breakaway.
Oh, no.
And Seth Jarvis, stopped by Montembeault. He gloves it down, and he keeps the play going. So, good save there by Montembeault with the glove.
Yeah, we had Matheson and Slavkovsky trying to play defense on that play.
Always. 2-on-1 now. Heading back the other way. Jarvis can't get anything going. as there was a body flying. I think that interfered with it. Matheson flat on the ice. Now Suzuki might get no, there's no call on that one. It looked like Aho went down hard.
Oh.
Fans are not happy about this. And the best opportunities on this Montreal power play, once again, for Carolina, breakaway and then a 2-on-1 opportunity. 40 seconds left with the man advantage now.
Yeah, not looking good for Montreal, and that stat with 12 shorthanded goals against is it's kind of showing why.
Yeah, absolutely. Slap shot for the Carolina Hurricanes. That one doesn't get through. Montreal dumps it in. They can't get to a first, and Carolina's going to head the other way. So 15 seconds left. This might be the worst of the Montreal power play so far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you give up that many scoring chances while you're shorthanded. There's something wrong there.
Yeah, it's just, isn't it? I'd like to welcome She to the chat. Come on, Montreal, fight for it. It's a comment there. And I think I beat Canadiens Connection to it. Carolina with the best chances on the Montreal power play. So power play is expired. Carolina with a lot of rush chances there and just could not bury it. Good glove save by Montembeault earlier. And then once again, Montreal 2-on-1 opportunity before the rest of the group catches up. Couldn't get a shot off of that one. Carolina is going to want to try and shoot at some point. But they do have offensive zone. Slap shot from the point. That one gets stopped easily. Now back to the point. Passing it around. Carolina with a pretty good zone time here. Montreal looking like they're scrambling a bit. Scramble in front. Montembeault flat down. He finally manages to get a hold of that puck, and that's a whistle.
Yeah, I mean, the sequence, like the way the Carolina Hurricanes are cycling and floating through and making Montreal actually physically have to look to see where they got to play defense on is it's very, very good to see for Carolina. They're playing some really good hockey right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to take a quick second here as this heads into a TV break. Remind everyone, our next stream coming up is going to be March 28th. Canadiens versus the Philadelphia Flyers. So looking forward to that coming up at the end of the month. We're going to take a little bit of a longer break in between streams this month due to some 10 p.m. late night starts coming up in the next couple of weeks for the Montreal Canadiens. But we're going to be very happy to get this stream on the 28th of March. Circle your calendar, or better yet, if you have not already, hit subscribe. We also have a notification bell. That way, whenever we put content or whenever we're going live, you'll get notified right away. So make sure you tune in with us for that game. And just like to thank you all for joining us tonight. This has been pretty fun so far. Neck and neck, 2-1 for Carolina. That seems to be that go-ahead goal by Stefan Nason seems to be the marker so far. That's Montreal's not been able to overcome that one yet, and Carolina really applying a ton of pressure. So this has been a pretty fun game, at least in this third period.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said there, Michael. And I'm hopeful that Montreal continues to fight. That's kind of the thing that I think we both said. We wanted to see them fight and play hard and just die trying at least.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, Carolina, I think it's fair to say, the much more talented team, the better team. They're second in their division. Montreal, if they want to, what they've been doing to win games is they've been battling hard. They've been sticking with it just enough to capitalize on the other team's mistakes, and that's just been their MO. Coming in from Canadiens Connection, just nothing that Jarvis stripped Matheson to create that shorthanded breakaway. And yeah, looking at this replay here now, yeah, Matheson not looking very good. And then on the 2-on-1, Matheson probably could have been called for a trip there, but heads up play there by the Carolina forward to jump over him.
Yeah, and I just like Jarvis. He's got speed, eh? Like he's a fast player.
Yeah, he's got hands.
Yeah, I didn't realize how fast he was, and then him moving the puck like that, good on him.
Yeah, absolutely. So offensive zone for the Carolina Hurricanes off the faceoff. That's a shot off at the side of the net. The rim's all the way down to the other end. Montreal might have a break here, but Carolina does get to it first behind their net. approaching the 13-minute mark. Not as high scoring as I think people were predicting tonight. I think I predicted a 4-3 Carolina victory. A lot could still happen, but it seems like it's going to be nice and low scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all did, like you said, Michael. And but I think last game, the Carolina Hurricanes let in 5 goals in the third period against the Winnipeg Jets. So,
Yeah,
they could also have a defensive breakdown as well, and you can see some more goals come in.
absolutely. So Carolina in the shot department breaking away a little bit, currently leading 27-22. So you're starting to see those shots, I guess, come up by a little bit of a margin over Montreal. They seemingly, too, have had most of the possession in the offensive zone, despite a couple of occasions where Montreal had control. Good shot there by Carolina, but again, missed the net, too. I think that bringing this back around, it's been those missed opportunities that have really been the story of this game.
Yeah, when you look back on that first period, and for both teams, they both had missed opportunities throughout the game, and we got to if they want to score more goals, they definitely have to tighten that up and capitalize on the scoring chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Carolina once again in the offensive zone, battling behind the net, being very strong. Big hit there behind the net, but Montreal's going to come the other way. That one gets blocked by the hand of a Montreal player, and they head into the offensive zone again. Gooley with a nice pass there. Nice in between his legs. That was nifty.
Yeah, I would like that.
Now, Montreal with a nice opportunity. Slavkovsky with a one-handed shot. That one gets stopped easily by Anderson. Slavkovsky's got some reach, but man, if he had 2 hands on that stick, he probably could have had a good opportunity.
Yeah, he's been known to have that one hand on one stick on the stick, eh?
Yeah. But Montembeault covers up a shot there, and he'll get the whistle. So far in this game, has there been any specific moment that stood out to you the most?
In this game, I would have to say that save early on by Frederik Andersen on Nick Suzuki from Cole Caulfield on the power play. That's definitely a big save.
Yeah, I agree too. And that was certainly an opportunity where Montreal could have taken a lead, but unfortunately, that was just such a good save. And that's led to Carolina going the other way, scoring in the final minute of the second period. And it's just that one goal that seems to be holding things up so far.
Yeah, Montreal seems to like being in these one-goal games this year, eh?
Yeah. Will we get overtime tonight? Again, knock on wood.
I think we're going to get a 4-1 victory, Carolina.
Interesting. So Carolina's still in the offensive zone here. A falling pass, and there's going to be a trip. So Carolina now to the power play. Their power play has not looked good. It's 0-2 so far. So yeah, if Carolina wants to win, I think this is the opportunity to put things in the bag and go up 3-1.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that they took that tripping penalty. It just looks like our guy wasn't even skating.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's Gallagher there. But yeah, poor penalty. It was not even a very dangerous play. So, and once again, this emoji. Yeah, that's been me most of tonight. So thank you, she.
Well, let's see if this number 3 power play can get on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. So Carolina on the power play here, but Montreal with a terrible attempt at clearing the puck, and that one goes all the way to the Carolina blue line, and they hold it in. So we have the stoppage here with that one getting blown down. Canadiens Connection asks she keeps a bard in trade who? And she says Matheson. So yeah, I believe we've actually interacted with she a few times on our YouTube channel, and that was something that came up recently. So appreciate getting that answer there, and appreciate all the interactions.
Yes, I love that answer too. That's a good answer.
Yeah, especially after tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight, all season.
Yeah. So it looks like KK is out to take this face off against Jake Evans. And Canadiens Connection adding on. Good choice. Matheson hasn't played well tonight. Yeah. Yep, that sums that up. So once again, this Carolina power play, not a whole lot so far, about 1:30 left. And more whistles. So actually an icing called against the Carolina Hurricanes. So I guess an errant pass leads to an icing.
Wow.
And speaking of Mike Matheson, he's out there right now. He's going to go for that shorthanded offensive zone faceoff. He'll be on the blue line. And Montreal wins this one. They get a shot from the point. Shot from Matheson, actually. So Carolina finally gets the puck, and I think they just want to slow this one down.
Yeah, I think they definitely do.
So taking his time, Aho's breaking through center ice here, passes it off. Now it's to Burns at the point here. Kokniemi with a shot. Big rebound by Montembeault. I don't think he saw where that one went, but it got cleared out.
Ooh.
So now Kokniemi once again in the offensive zone. Montreal trying their best to battle for the puck, but they can't come away with it. Burns hangs onto it. 45 left on the power play. Looking for Carolina to do something. Another shot that just can't get through. That gets blocked. Aho now with the puck. Back to Burns. Back to Aho. Looking for a shot. He can't find anything. Montreal with some good coverage in the zone.
Oh, yeah.
Cross ice shot. That can't get through. On his knees, a shot. And Burns trying to get a shot. That gets blocked too. 20 seconds left. Hurricanes still with possession. In front of the net. They elect not to shoot. They're looking for a perfect one-timer, I think.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're trying to find that nice pass.
Oh, nice pass there, but Jarvis doesn't have a whole lot of space to work with. Saved by Montembeault, and that's another power play that comes to an end. Carolina 0 for 3, Montreal 0 for 4.
Yeah, special teams just can't make the cut tonight.
Absolutely. So 8 minutes left, and that's Gallagher behind the net. Gallagher, of course, taking that poor tripping penalty that led to that last power play, but maybe that should be the game plan. Just put Carolina on the power play, and nothing will happen going forward.
Yes, for sure. I agree with you on that one.
But yeah, a couple like minor opportunities, but I just don't think Carolina's putting themselves in a position where they can do much with their shots. And a lot of their point shots too, just getting blocked. This is making it easy for Montreal here.
Yeah, I mean, I think their best opportunity would have been like that, like you were saying, that Jarvis opportunity where Montembeault got that blocker there, but everything else is getting blocked or just not getting through.
Yeah. And Amy's successfully getting a couple Go Habs goes in the chat. If there's any Canes fans, feel free to cheer as well. Carolina still up 2-1, and we're about 7.5 left to go in this game. Carolina with possession, really taking their time. I'm wondering if Carolina at this point is just going to try to defend here, maybe play some keep away and hang on to this lead.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it kind of looks like. I feel like they've slowed everything down. They're not in a rush, like you were saying, to get out from behind their net. So, I mean, it's I think that might be part of their game plan.
Yeah, and Natchez too, with a bit of a break there, and he hangs onto the puck the whole way. He didn't shoot. Mm-hmm. So I think Carolina being very careful right now. A bit of a scramble, but once they get that puck, it's really slow and calm.
Mm-hmm. No, I think they know that if they give Montreal any opportunity, Montreal has the potential to score. So,
yeah. So Carolina still in the offensive zone here, passing things around at the point. And still lots more passing, lots of cycling, going around in circles. And yeah, this is definitely some keep away. I don't think Carolina is really trying to get too many opportunities unless they present themselves here. This is going to be Yeah, very slow last 5 minutes of the game, I think.
Yeah, it looks like they're like you're saying, they're keeping the puck away from Montreal, but it's been stuck in the Montreal zone for at least a minute.
Yeah, I don't think they had more than like 1 or 2 shots, but delayed penalty now for Montreal. So Carolina's going to head back to the power play. If Montreal does touch it up, shot, that one gets stopped. But yeah, Jordan Harris has been out there for about 2.5.
Yeah,
Now a few shots in front of Montembeault. Now Carolina Hurricanes coming alive. Another shot, and they still hang on to it. Montreal yet to touch up. Just kudos to the Carolina Hurricanes here, putting on an absolute show, making a clinic of it.
Yeah, the Montreal players aren't even skating at this point.
Yeah, that one gets touched up finally by Jesse Ullinen.
Oof.
But yeah, that was quite the sequence there. Carolina Hurricanes putting on a keep away clinic, and Montreal just absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, no, they're definitely tired. It was by the end of it, you could see them all. They're moving in the same speed, like one or two legs moving very slow though.
But lots of Go Habs Go in the chat. Been trying to put as many up as I can, so lots of support here. And Amy saying, Michael and Nathan love overtime. Come on, Habs. And yeah, we've had a few of those. We've had a 12-round shootout. Give me the worst, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Carolina's just been too good, and if the rest of the game is like we just saw, I don't think Montreal's going to come away with any scoring chances.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, Michael. And Carolina is playing a different style of hockey than they did at the beginning, I think.
Yeah. She comments with a yay, Monty. Hang on, dude. So, of course, Montembeault making a few saves there, being hung out to dry a little bit, but he seems to be keeping calm for the most part. Some bad rebounds, but still not been scored on after that second goal.
Yeah, and I think I got to give kudos to Carolina because like the cycling with that puck in Montreal zone, it actually you see Montembeault, he has to like skate back and forth, back and forth. He's probably getting just as tired as the forwards and defensemen.
Yeah, I think very lucky that this led into a TV timeout.
Yeah, I agree with that now.
Canadiens Connection chimes in with the new hook with a glove full of Orlov's jersey. So that must have been with the penalty there. So, yeah, Carolina back to the power play, and Amy changing things up with the hashtag Go Habs Go. So keep those coming in. And just another little reminder here, make sure you circle the calendar for our next stream. We've got the day down below, March 18th, Canadiens versus Flyers. We have a lot of fun doing these, and we appreciate all of you hanging out with us tonight. Still 2-1 for the Carolina Hurricanes as Newhook goes to the box for a hooking call. Like Canadiens Connection pointed out, just a glove full of Orlov's jersey. And Amy Johnson, for the Canes fans, cause chaos. I like that hashtag, actually. I didn't know that was a thing. So, fourth power play, I believe, for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I think it's that's our fourth.
And it comes to an end pretty quickly here as Carolina is now heading to the box. We'll see some 4-on-4 hockey now. Yeah, it's a tripping call, so that was short-lived. And there goes my theory, too, that Carolina plays well until the moment they hit the power play. And, yeah, Matheson drawing the penalty there. Just a terrible, terrible penalty there by Carolina and lost opportunity to put this in the bag.
Yeah. No, that's definitely one they want to get back for sure.
Carolina leading the shots department 36-24 now, which makes sense. They've had all the possession.
Yeah, all of it.
And coming from Amy, get your votes in the poll ending in 3. 2 now. So some 4-on-4 hockey in the offensive zone for Carolina. They're going to control things at the blue line. And they're circle back. Yeah, Carolina is going to be very careful here to not give Montreal any chances. So, and breakaway scores. Top shelf. Carolina up 3-1. Is that Brady Shea again?
Ooh, what a pass. What a pass.
What a shot and a move. Oof. Can't score on the power play, but that 4-on-4, yeah, it's Brady Shea once again with a slick move.
Send him in alone, eh?
Yeah. And just a long pass. Montembeault, no opportunity there.
Oof. Just on this tape to tape, eh?
Yeah, that's beautiful goal by Brady Shea. Carolina up 3-1 now. So Montreal is going to have a lot of work to do if they want to get back in this one. About 4 minutes to go. Anything could happen.
Oh, yeah.
But that 4-on-4 goal breakaway, and yeah, Montreal just nothing doing on that one.
I mean, last game Montreal scored 2 goals in 6 seconds. So I mean,
yeah, that's fair. And like I said, anything could happen here. But Carolina back at work as they break into the offensive zone, spinorama into the corner, and they'll cycle that around. Looks like Brady Shea, that's his 10th goal. This is by Brett Pesce and Sebastian Aho. So Aho gets on the board, and that's the second goal of the game for Brady Shea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's having a pretty good game for himself today.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had so many offensive capabilities. So. And Amy Johnson with let's try again. Go Habs, go. Don't think it worked last time, but let's get it back in the chat. Get some optimism going.
Yeah, go Habs, go.
4-on-4 for about 20 more seconds here. And once again, the Carolina Hurricanes with all the possession. They're going to rim this one around behind the net. And Montreal is actually going to come away with this. Will they be able to clear? And they do. Coming out with some speed here. But they can't find open ice. And unfortunately, Carolina breaks that one up again. So back the other way. Carolina with the shot, stopped and covered by Montembeault.
Well, Montreal, you got a big 3.5 minutes left to do something here.
Yeah, exactly. So just a little reminder here too, about 3 minutes left in this game. Make sure you stick around afterwards for our post-game show, the final round. And if you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button and please share to invite more hockey fans to join in. So we appreciate you all joining us tonight, and let's keep these going for future live streams. And of course, Rocket Sports echoing what I just said. Stick around after the game for a post-game last round. So we are getting some Go Habs goes in the chat, so still a little bit of optimism. Let's see if they can get this back. Carolina still leading in the shot department, 37-24. How soon do you think we get a full goaltender?
I think the very first opportunity that Montreal's in Carolina's zone, I see that St. Louis is going to pull Monty out and get that extra attacker out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't have too much time, so
absolutely. What have you thought about Kotkaniemi in this game? Of course, that's the former Habs first-round pick that left and left fans a little bit unhappy.
Well, I mean, to me, I saw him out there a couple times. He was noticeable, but to be honest, I haven't really seen much compared to like previous games. I mean, they have him posted on the fourth line as the centerman for the fourth line. So, I mean, that whole entire fourth line hasn't really seen much ice time anyways. So, I mean, kind of goes hand in hand, not seeing much of Kotkaniemi.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so far this season anyway, Kotkaniemi's got 21 points in 61 games. Is actually his highest career total throughout one season is 43 points. So he's still a useful player, but I don't think living up to what he was drafted to be.
No, yeah, I agree with you on that. I think he's tied with his first season with Carolina point total right now, 21. Yeah. So could see a little bit more. There's still 21 games left, right? So
yeah. So less than 3 minutes to go, and as per Rocket Sports, if you've had fun tonight, hit like and subscribe. We've got videos coming out 3 times per week on this channel, plus our live stream. So you'll find the Canadiens Connection podcast coming out here on Mondays. Of course, throughout the week, Amy Johnson hosts a couple shows. The Habs Hockey Report. You saw the preview for this week's episode during the intermission, so make sure you check that out if you have not already, and also the Rocket Hockey Report on this channel if you want to keep up to date with everything Laval Rocket. Amy is a great host, super knowledgeable, and loves interacting with everyone. You've seen her in the chat with this Go Habs Go, so make sure you check out all the content on this channel and hit subscribe. So Carolina still in the offensive zone. We talked about, Marty St. Louis might want to pull the goaltender first chance he gets, but I don't know if he's actually going to get an opportunity. I don't think it's super unrealistic to think that Carolina is going to have possession for the remainder of this period.
Yeah, especially when you see it's our top line being hemmed in our own zone. That's definitely not a good sign for sure for Montreal.
Yeah, and another shot there by the Hurricanes there, but pretty harmless. Saw Montembeault making kind of an easy routine stop there, and we'll get another face-off in the offensive zone for the Hurricanes. So, yeah, I think that Montreal is going to want to act quick if they get anything. And, I think this Carolina team just might overpower them a bit too much.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one, Michael. Carolina definitely is being a stronger team right now.
Absolutely. But Montreal is coming the other way here. They do get into the offensive zone. About 1:30 left. And these did pull the goalie just right now. Montreal in the offensive zone here. So let's see how this goes. They have the extra attacker out. Shot from the point. That one gets stopped. Carolina clears it out. It goes all the way. And will we get an icing? Yeah, we'll get an icing here. So 1:11, and Jack Eye's there to touch up the puck. So, yeah, Montreal is going to want to win this face-off and start putting everything towards Freddie Anderson.
You need that slap shot during the Florida game where he just took that shot off the face-off and scored. I mean, something like that.
Yeah, or get that David Savard off the stanchions and somehow into the net.
We'll take both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we're getting a timeout called here. Probably the right move for both teams at this point. Rest up their crews, and I think Montreal, they're going to want to keep out their big guns. Looks like we'll get Suzuki, Matheson, Slavkovsky, Caulfield, and Newhook.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess any last-minute predictions here? We're about a minute in. The goalie's pulled. Is Montreal going to get at least one back?
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful they're going to score one. They can't. They got to end it with a little style.
Yeah. So timeouts come to an end. Both of them heading towards the face-off dot here. Marty St. Louis looking at his game plan still.
Yeah.
And we'll get the face-off here. This might just be the game. Looks like Carolina comes away with the puck here. Oh, past center. Carolina's got the puck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, wide open. Easy goal on the empty net.
There's Svechnikov.
Svech, empty net. Goal. Oh, 4-1. So you're right, Nathan. Your prediction so far holding true.
And Svechnikov scoring. Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think blame Nathan for this one. About 50 seconds. Yeah, 50 seconds left. 4-1 Carolina, and I think it's this one's just about in the bag. So just another reminder: make sure you stick around. We'll do a little bit of a post-game show for you, and we invite you all into the chat to let us know your thoughts. 1 minute to go, and in the offensive zone yet again for the Carolina Hurricanes. Montreal might come away with it here. They do manage to clear it out, but all the way to the other end, and it's an icing. So this one's not going to end soon. But, yeah, back to the offensive zone for the Carolina Hurricanes. And she's saying, dumb move by MSL. So, of course, didn't like that play call. I think it might have been the wrong choice to have Matheson out there, given how the rest of the game's gone with a lot of those giveaways.
Well, they had 4
But
forwards out there too.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Matheson.
yeah. So there you go. And Montreal with an offensive opportunity, shot, stopped. Anderson with an easy save there. About 20 seconds left. Carolina coming the other way. They can't get past Montreal, but so they'll just hang on to it. Looks like they're just trying to kill the clock here. And there you go. Carolina just hanging on to it still. 10 seconds to go. They just kind of flip it back to the Montreal zone. 4. And it's over. 4-1 for the Carolina Hurricanes. They take this one.
Yeah, they do. 40 shots on net, eh?
Yeah, that was crazy. That that third period really got lopsided and got lopsided fast. So we'll get to our post-game show here in just a second. So if you have any thoughts or comments that you want to put into the chat, we'd love to hear from you. Anything you want to hear from us, we'd certainly appreciate if you join the chat, and we'll get to the final round. It's coming up just in a few seconds. So 4-1, Carolina wins this one. Nathan, what are your thoughts? What went wrong for the Montreal Canadiens here?
They simply just got outplayed. Carolina's coming out with speed. They came out hard and fast, and they really didn't let up. The only times they did let up was when they were just holding the puck away from Montreal and making sure they weren't getting it. So I think Montreal needed to, just get more opportunities, and they needed to play a lot better defensively. Too many turnovers, too many bad penalties as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Montreal got off to a pretty good start. First goal, 5:53 into the first period. Joshua Waugh got his first goal, or his third goal of the season, assisted by Alex Newhook. And before the end of that period, Brady Shea would get his first of the match, 9th on the season, assisted by Svechnikov and Martin Necas. In the second period, bit of a snoozer, but in the final minute, Stefan Nason gets his 14th of the season, going up 2-1. Jack Drury and Jalen Chatfield get the assists on that. In the third period, about 15:31 into the period, Brady Shea on a breakaway gets his 10th of the season, his second of the match, for a great pass from Brett Pesce and assisted by Sebastian Aho as well. That's Aho's 41st assist on this season. And the dagger, the fourth goal by the Carolina Hurricanes, is the empty netter by Andrei Svechnikov, 14th of the season, assisted by Toivu Teravainen. Carolina leads the shot department 40-25. No power play goals for either team. Montreal going 0-for-5, Carolina going 0-for-4. And I think special teams were kind of a moot point in this game. If Montreal could have capitalized on any of those power plays, it would have been great. Certainly would have made a difference, but unfortunately, nobody does. And Carolina Hurricanes come up with a pretty easy win, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, it's definitely echoing what you said. They could have done better on the power play, and they gave up a lot of chances on the power play too. So definitely need to relook at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the chat here briefly as well. Amy says, still love the storm surge. So, of course, the post-game celebrations for Carolina at home are still pretty cool. She says, third period shots on goal, 7-19. And yeah, that's when things really went off the rails for the Montreal Canadiens. I think the Carolina Hurricanes just did not give them any opportunities whatsoever, especially after that goal that was called back due to goalie interference. Amy chimes in and says, bummer that Montreal loses, but got to be happy for Anderson to get healthy and get back with a win. Absolutely. I think that's a story for me too. Freddie Anderson, it's hard to not be happy for the guy here, coming back after everything he's dealt with and coming away with a pretty good victory.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Scary for what he had to go through, but it's great to see it.
Yeah, and Amy with the final comment there. Well, that certainly doesn't help the lack of scoring. So, yeah, was there any? I know we talked about this briefly, but to you, what was really the turning point here for the Carolina Hurricanes to take this victory?
To be honest, it's gonna have to be that late second period goal. That 24 seconds left in the second period. It looked like Montreal might have been able to escape from the second period goal free, but no, Carolina had to put one in the back of the net for the end of the period. So it's either
Yeah.
that or some of the unfortunate bounces that didn't go Montreal's way.
Yeah, I think for me, the part that where things really changed was the goal getting called back due to goalie interference. I felt like Montreal actually came into the third period looking pretty good. They had some speed, obviously the early scoring chance there, but I
Mhm.
felt like as soon as that got called back, Montreal just didn't have anything else left in the tank, and from then on, it was all about the Carolina Hurricanes. Right to the point where they were just playing keep away and laughing at the Montreal Canadiens practically. Jordan Harris being out there for almost 3 minutes at one point. Remember that sequence.
Yeah,
So for me,
yeah,
it really comes back to that callback goal.
yeah, that's tough. That's tough for a team, especially being out there for almost 3 minutes. Like that's got to be super tiring. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Canadiens Connection chimes in. Anderson made a big save on Caulfield. Caulfield's goal drought extends to 9 games. So that's certainly not what you want to see. And echoing Amy once again, well, that doesn't help the lack of scoring. Of course, from your big guns not getting on the board tonight, it's pretty disappointing. I think that the top line in general just didn't do it for me. I felt like more often than not they got hemmed in their own zone. When they did get to chances, they couldn't finish on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I still stand pat that I don't know how you continuously put Slavkovsky and Matheson out at the same time because these guys, I don't know what's not clicking there, but defensively, uh, they can't be with each other whatsoever.
Yeah, too many mistakes. Too many mistakes, even on the power play. Like it's, I think Martin we needs to take a look at that and maybe look at some gameplay after this game and see kind of what's the underlying issues here. Maybe just try taking one off that line, like you were saying, and see if that changes it.
Yeah, absolutely. In your opinion, was there anything that stood out to you as like the worst play of the game?
Uh, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's I'd have to say, like I hate picking on him, but Mike Matheson's defensive play tonight, more than one occasion, on the power play, giving the puck up, on the power play again, getting just fooled by Carolina Hurricanes player. It's just those moves are they hurt the Montreal Canadiens, and honestly, you shouldn't expect it from a veteran defenseman like Mike Matheson, but he seems to be showing us those mistakes game in and game out.
Yeah, taking this out of context, but I think this kind of ties in very well. But an earlier message from Canadiens Connection, good choice. Matheson hasn't played well tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, I think too. Like part of it is Matheson trying to do too much at once. We saw at one point it actually kind of paid off in holding the zone. He put on a bit of a clinic against the Carolina Hurricanes. Managing defend them, shield them off the puck with his body, hanging on to things in the offensive zone there. But yeah, after that, I think it was just giveaways, misplays, confusion in the D zone as well. I
Mhm.
think that there was a 2-on-1 opportunity for Carolina shorthanded, where Matheson flat on the ice goes to do a dive to take away the pass, and he nearly tripped up the Carolina forward. I think Carolina's forward there jumped over Mike Matheson. I think if he could have gone back, he probably would have just taken the trip, to be completely honest. But
Yeah.
that could have ended the power play right there as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you on that one, Michael.
Canadiens Connection chimes in. Nathan and Michael, if Kent Hughes makes one trade tomorrow, who will it be? I'll let you.
Hmm. Hmm. Do I pick the one that I want to go, or do I pick the one I think is going to be traded?
You can do one of each if you want.
Honestly, I'm gonna say hopefully Tanner Pearson. I know he's kind of an
Yeah.
odd person on there, but he's on an expiring contract. It would be nice to get something from a player that's going to potentially maybe pick a different team at the end of the season here.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice too. I just don't know if there's going to be enough of a market for Tanner Pearson out there. I think if you have to give me one trade, I think that this one has to be. I think it has to be Allen. I think that more than anything, I want to clear out that goaltending situation. And yeah, it's just not been optimal, and no one's liked it. I think now you just have to just let Allen go. It's been a difficult season too. The media has not been happy with them. The fans have kind of turned against them. Had a good game against Nashville the other night, but you wouldn't know it if you were scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah, and it's hard on all the goalies' mental game when there's three of them trying to share one net, right? So
yeah, absolutely. And Amy says viewers can answer that question in the chat as well. So I'll keep it up for a little bit. If Kent Hughes makes one trade tomorrow, who will it be? Let us know in the chat. Once again, if you're on a mobile device or a laptop, you should be able to answer that in our live chat. If you're watching this on a TV, turn on your phone, turn on your laptop, and get on YouTube there as well. That way you can let us know through the live chat there. So we'd love to hear from you all what your thoughts are on if Kent Hughes makes one trade tomorrow, who will it be? I think there are a couple moves that Kent Hughes could realistically make. Obviously, Savard was mentioned. Allen was mentioned. Pearson, Armia's creeping onto that trade board as well. So it's going to be interesting. As much action as we've had in regard to the trades so far, I think there's going to be a heck of a lot more tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I imagine if you wake up and they're like, "Oh, Mike Matheson traded from Montreal."
Yeah, and not on this stream, but the previous one we did against the Pittsburgh Penguins, we did have an in-game trade by the Pittsburgh Penguins, so one of the teams playing. Unfortunately, we didn't get that tonight, but of course there were still some implications. You can't forget Michael Bunting being held out of the lineup. Didn't seem to affect Carolina at all that he was held out either. And I'd actually be scared of what Carolina could do if you added Jake Gensel to this current lineup too.
Yeah, that'd be a big move for Carolina if they can pull that off.
Yeah, absolutely. So just looking at the standings here, so Montreal with this one loss currently after 63 games played, 58 points, 24 wins, 29 losses, 10 overtime losses. Their goal differential down to minus 48. That's worst in the Atlantic by a wide margin. But Carolina Hurricanes, after 62 games, 37 wins, 19 losses, 8 overtime losses, and 80 points. Currently, their goal differential is a plus 32. So I think if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan and you're going through this rebuild, you certainly want to look at what this Carolina Hurricanes team is, and that's what you aspire to be.
Yeah, a little bit on that last stream where we did that in person trade during a game, that Alex Nylander that got traded to Pittsburgh to Montreal or to Columbus.
Yes,
he actually got his first career hat trick for the Columbus Blue Jackets last game.
Yeah, that's a great point actually. So that kind of worked out too. I'd be curious to see what Bemstrom's done for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but yeah, Alex Nylander off to a pretty good career in Columbus, surprisingly.
Yeah. No, exactly. I think Benstrom's got at least one goal for sure for Pittsburgh. I remember seeing him get on the board.
So Canadiens Connection chimes in for a full rundown of the Canadiens Trade Deadline action. Tune into Saturday's episode of the Canadiens Connection podcast. So you'll see that come up on your favorite streaming platform on Saturday. You can also find it on our YouTube channel by next Monday. So make sure you look out for that. Also, make sure you check out all the content here on this channel leading up to that trade deadline. Habs Hockey Report, Amy Johnson's interview with Jason Bukala. We gave some teasers during the intermission. Definitely recommend checking that out. And also last week's Canadiens Connection is going to help you prepare for tomorrow as well. So available everywhere you get your podcasts. And I believe this is she in the chat answering the question of who she'd like to see Kent Hughes trade tomorrow. And yes, Matheson. So, right. So that'd certainly be something. I've not seen Matheson in the trade rumors. And I know that Kent Hughes has a pretty long relationship with Mike Matheson. I don't know if I'm betting on that happening tomorrow. I think Savard's probably the more likely one, but anything can happen, right?
Yeah, it's good to dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So just one final reminder for everyone for where they can find all of our content. Head over to thn.com/Montreal. You can find the game recap there in just a few minutes. So make sure you look out for that. That's the hockey news for Montreal. Also find us on Twitter at Rocket Sports, on Facebook at Rocket Sports Media Inc., and on Instagram at Rocket Sports Media. And that podcast, you can find it everywhere you get your podcast, but also CanadiensConnection.fm. And before we head out here, did you have any final comments in regards to that game or anything else there, Nathan?
Well, I honestly, I thought it was an up and down game for Montreal, and I want to echo what Amy said about Frederik Andersen getting a win on his first game back of the season. I think I agree with you and Amy as well about that. I think it's a good, happy thing to celebrate about.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, our next live stream will be on March 28th against the Philadelphia Flyers. Make sure you look out for Saturday's podcast. Make sure you look out for the game recap at thn.com/Montreal. And of course, we look forward to seeing you here again. We appreciate you all sticking around with us through this end of the game. Just a couple more comments, and then we'll sign off in just a few minutes. As per Amy says, thank you so much for joining us tonight, everyone. We hope to see you back here for the next live stream on March 28th, or in the comments of any of our videos in the meantime. And of course, we'll leave that to you, and we appreciate you all once again. Nathan, this was a ton of fun, and look forward to next time.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun. I can't wait to our next live stream.
Rocket Sports Media, your inside link to the Montreal Canadiens.